morning. Welcome to Brandenburg News Network. I am, in fact, Donna Brandenburg. It's the 11th day of December 2023, and welcome to our show today. I expect that there's probably a lot of people out there watching, and I'm hoping, I want to let everybody know what the intention was, because, of course, I'm taking fire from both sides here, because I'm on the side of truth, and I think that we need to talk and put everything out there, no matter whether we agree or we disagree with us, because this should not necessarily be groupthink, in my opinion, going forward. That's what got us here in the first place. People need to have both sides of any issue discussed in a civil way, if possible, in order to make up their own minds instead of being told what to think. So this morning, and I'm not going to say in any particular direction, in every direction, Donna Brandenburg is constantly being told who I can talk to, who I can't talk to, who's a good person, who's a bad person, setting up teams. And this comes constantly, daily, all the time. It's a constant stream of this sort of crap. I could really care less about anybody's opinion on this, because I am for the getting the truth out there and finding out what's going on, giving everyone a voice to talk, whether I agree or disagree with them. And I'm gonna prove my point here in a little bit, because I will bring up uncomfortable facts that may be a problem, may not be a problem, but we need to encourage the discussion of those things. Now, with that said, everybody knows that Warren and Chuck are coming on this morning. It was not a setup, as some people have alleged. Chuck has always said, bring anybody on that you want and we'll debate them. And I'm like, okay. I have had 3 days in a row with 2 hours sleep a night, and that's pretty much it. I've caught a couple cat naps either on a plane or in the car. I got on the ground yesterday after being up at 3:30 in the morning to come back to Michigan to do this show and to try to continue to fight for the United States of America, without respect to parties or groups or any of the crap, the childish stuff that's going on out there. And as I'm driving back, I get a call, and my mom had to go to the emergency room last night. Or yesterday. So as I'm driving back, my mom's on the way to the emergency room. So worrying about anybody else at that moment in time or their feelings was not at the top of my list, because my mom was having chest pains. So we finished this whole thing last night. I talked to Warren after his broadcast last night. We kind of gelled up how, because he's also coming on at 8:00 tonight to put a report out that they've been working on. I don't care who put it out. I know who put it out, and I know where it came from. And so what we're going to do is, I want to make sure that I understood how we were going to do this in the morning and at night. And this was about 11 o'clock or 11:30 at night. I thought, we'll just get up in the morning, and usually Chuck and I talk maybe 10 minutes before the show, or I don't know if I have ever, how much I've communicated with him before that. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we talk ahead of time. But yesterday was not my day for that. And I apologized to Chuck this morning, because we talked about it. He said, I feel like I was set up. And I'm glad he told me the truth. I am. And I'm like, I very much apologize. That was not my intention. It is never my intention. I want to see peace here. And if anybody out there says that they're a Christian, then we're going to do this in a way that is respectful. And if we disagree with somebody says, we have the right to go to that person and tell them that. And we should. That's biblical. But also, we've got a constitution, which is the highest law of the land, gives everybody the right to their opinion. And as I say that right now, I'm going to put out there, if I never won an office and I had to do it illegally or in a way that was against my personal framing of how I feel, what I feel comfortable, or how I feel that God has called me personally, I don't really care about other people's standards. That's between them and God. I would hope that people would do the right thing and will put the right thing. But I'm not the one that's going to sit in judgment of every word that comes out of other people's mouths, okay? We cannot know people's intentions. And if anybody says that they do, they're lying, they're living ass off. And I said it right there, okay? And I don't care if I offended anyone, because everyone out there is playing games right now. And I believe that. I really do. I think that to find the purest form of anything it takes a little bit of back and forth. It takes some discourse. And if we were all communicating with the intention of putting this nation back together as one nation under God, we would be able to talk things out in a civil way. So with that said, I have no knowledge of people's intentions. Zero. Okay. And I'm not going to pretend that I do. I can see things with my own eyes that make me go, ugh, this is something that I've got to struggle with. And we need to bring it forward and talk this thing out. And hopefully somebody has an explanation, or we say, yeah, I as Donna Brandenburg have a problem going with this direction. And this is the reason why. I don't care if you want to go in that direction. Knock yourself out. Find your happiness, right? But this is one of those things that I don't get paid for this. I've not gotten paid a dime for this. I lost an unbelievable amount of money fighting for this nation by myself, with funding 98% of this political nonsense out there was rejected by everyone out there, and had it, except for my band of merry men that follow me here on BNN. Republican Party absolutely threw me in under the rug, okay? And so did everyone. Split the vote. So I'm coming back at this as Democrats hated me, Republicans hated me, everybody hated me, half the taxpayers party hated me, and I'm going to say probably 98% of the people out there hated what I have to say. I don't care. It is my opinion and my First Amendment right to say what's on my mind. So before we get into that nonsense of we shouldn't be talking to this person or we shouldn't be talking to this person, go sit in your ego chambers and feel proud about yourself, virtue signaling, or go sit in a coffee shop with the snowflakes who have to have a safe space. Okay. This isn't what we're going to do here. So I hope that we can get on today and realize that we have people involved in this. Very, very good people. We have some very bad people involved. And I'm not saying that that's the people that are here today, but I'm going to give credit to both Chuck Ritchard and Warren Carpenter for having the guts to come on here together and talk about some really difficult issues. I hope that we can do this in a very reconciliatory way, not for the people that are standing here, even though we've all decided to jump into this arena, which is an absolute abysmal pit of despair to be involved in politics. Normal people out there, I would say I was normal. I got in the middle of this with no background, no ties to anyone whatsoever, and not giving a rat's rear end what the opinion was. I want my country back for the normal person that's sitting out there who really finds this whole stuff as distasteful as I do. Okay, so with that said, we're going to come on and we're going to talk because we have people involved in this. Last week, somebody who is an idiot came on here in the comments and said, Chuck's been sleeping around, on his wife. Well, you know what? You just proved you're an idiot because you said it without any proof. Okay. If we don't have proof, it doesn't stand. We have to see the proof that's there. Can we get in a hearing in court? No, there hasn't been one thing that's come down that's been settled there. So this is between us as people, as Americans, to go through this for the love of God, family, and country, to talk this out and try to restore the nation. So with that said, I'm gonna invite Chuck on, because Chuck's sitting there listening, and Warren on, and say, good morning, gentlemen. I am so glad that you're both here. And may I say, I hope in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, whom we all claim, that we can truly be I would love to see a miracle from God and see this resolved today, because I believe that can happen. I really do. In all circumstances, we can resolve differences in a way that we can be proud of. So if we can't, I'm going to go to 2-minute intervals so that everybody has a chance to talk, because I believe in that. I really do. Whether I agree or not, we're going to give everybody a chance. So anyhow, Chuck, you want to start first, because you're my buddy who's been on every Monday with me forever, and you've been very faithful, and I love you for that, and I really do. And you brought so much insight to the table, and a lot of times you're a great provocateur. So are you, Warren. Whether you bring things to the table to discuss and debate, and you're brilliant at it, and I'm thankful for that.
Well, Donna, thanks, but I got to tell you, Robert's rules allows us 3-minute intervals. So
okay, 3 minutes. I don't know these. I don't.
2 minutes. 2 minutes for me is like no. You know what I'm going to do.
All right, we'll do 3 minutes then. I'm okay with that.
Let's look at biblical. We're going to say, it's not mamby-pamby. I mean, if we read the Bible in this context, complete cover to cover, we'll understand. And I always like, and I say this, we go to Moses. When Moses came off the mount, what did he do? He round up the Levites and they killed those who worship Baal. We look at Joshua at Jericho and the wall came down. We can go site after site. We can see it. It isn't mamby-pamby. In Ephesians 6, we hear, put on that armor. There's a reason for that, because we're fighting evil. We're fighting those snakes that were in the garden that we're slithering on their belly. We're fighting them every day. And so we have to remember that. So we're in the world, but not of the world.
I don't think that anybody could ever accuse me of being namby-pamby, just saying.
But I want to go back to what you said. I want to go back to what you said, because you said one on one side and me on the other, and you're, no, that's not right, because I'm after the truth. I'm after the same thing you are. It's very clear what I do. I do not go after normal people. I go after bullies. Why? Because they want to put out half-truths and innuendos. The point we have to get to is get to the truth. If we don't get to the truth, and whose truth is it we're after? That's why I told you this morning, we have to go to court, because we'll put it in court and we'll let the jury decide, because it's the only way today. When Warren and I are done, we will disagree, and that's okay. We'll agree to disagree. That's what has to happen. We talk about what's going on in the MIGOP. Make no mistake, no organization is clean. None. There's not a one I know that's clean. When I say clean, without problems, without issues. It may be intentional. It may not be. But we don't know that until we get the facts out. I know that there are certain things I disagree with this MIGOP because of my background. I was a vice president in aerospace. My credentials. I know Warren's wife wanted to criticize me. Oh, you don't have any leadership. Really? I have a master's degree in organizational development and management with emphasis there. My doctorate is all the work is complete. I have 2.5 chapters yet to go. So it's kind of funny, ironic, but this is what we're dealing with. So I could go through the whole litany. I won't waste the time of the people. Thank you guys for listening. But the fact is, I have the background to be able to make those assessments. I've heard Warren's that I gave Warren's wife the opportunity how to prove or disprove what Joel was saying. And she never wants to go there because she doesn't want to do the work, or she doesn't want to face the music. And Warren hides because he hasn't been out there. He said, oh, he's out there. Bring the truth. Show the truth. Not this stuff that they're putting out there. Put it into law, because if I was them, I'll put them into law. I'll put them in court, because now I've had it. I told you this morning, these people deserve to be in court. Let a jury of 12 peers decide, because that's the judicial system.
Well, we're kind of in a court right now, in a way, because we're going to put things out there. And I don't believe that the court system has 8
p.m. You got Warren on. Why aren't you bringing the other side on? Why don't you if you're going to do it, have a debate where people can present the ideas? That's what I told his wife. The fact is, the easy way to do it is she got in that meeting, she acted like Jerry Springer girl. She did. In fact, they were going to throw her out. They were going to call the police. I stood right beside John, and then Dan talked to her and to settle her down. If it wasn't for them, they were going to call the police and she'd be tossed out.
I don't believe that this is an appropriate thing for a debate on that report. This report is being no, it's not. No. I get a chance to talk too, Chuck. Chuck, I get a chance to talk too. All right, I do get a chance to talk too. Okay, and the point being is that this is the reason why Warren is putting this out. If somebody does the work to put out a report like that, I want them in a respectful way to be able to present the report. That is not the time to sit there and debate it. It is.
Research tells you that if you do research, no, a Google report is not it. Is Warren got the background to be able to do this? Does he have any credibility? Why does it want? I could go on all kinds of stuff.
I don't really believe that most of the experts out there are worth a crap. So I would rather listen to somebody who's doing the work. And so we're going to put it all out there. So here we go. So Warren, we're going to how this kind of came to me is that there was a bunch of texts that were brought out to me, and I'm going to let Warren talk about this because I know that you have been terribly hurt, Chuck, and so has Warren, as people that are defending their families.
Don't put words in my mouth, because It doesn't. They're not going to hurt me. The truth will be the truth, no matter what. I stand on the truth. I will still be holding my head high. Remember, I've been attacked by the best. I've been attacked by many fronts, and the stuff is falling away. Even Schimmelbeck's case is going to fall by the wayside when the Michigan Tenure Commission is done, and then it goes to court. You're going to see what happens. Judge shopping? Oh, judge shopping. That's really great, right? So we see what's going on. Make no mistake. I'm going to use every legal means I have to go forward. It's that simple. And I've started down the path. We have 2 issues right now going on. I named 6 of them last week. I go, they're started. That's all I can tell you. Watch and see. And if Warren or his wife get in the way, that's exactly what's going to happen. The stuff they're putting out, if it's not true, we will bring it forward. That's the only way we do it. We have to hit them with the legal side. It's the only way today. I'm sorry. It may not be the best. It's all we have.
Well, I think that this is one of those things that we need to have everybody's side come out or what they're thinking, and then we'll make our own decision on what we hear. So what's that?
You will not change them. You will not change them one bit. And the reason I say that is because the lines in the sand are drawn. If we look,
listen, I've listened to this long enough. I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on a second. Let's give Warren just a second to talk, because I mean this is what I'm talking about. We have to also listen, not just talk. And I know everybody is upset about what's going on out there. Everyone has the right to be upset about it. But we need to let people talk and not try to force them to make a decision one way or the other. All we got to do is bring the information forward. People are smart. They can see through bull crap when it's brought up. So anyhow, so Warren, let's give you, I think that we just went through more than 5 minutes, probably more like 7. So if you can, I'd like to hear what you have to say. We just want to hear what you have to say. I'm not taking side.
I have no problem with this knucklehead rambling on. We can do this all single day. You got a lawsuit, Chuck, bring it. Listen, I'm gonna stop you right there. So, this whole thing started at Joel Studebaker's thing in Macomb after I did mine in Macomb the week prior. I've never seen the administration scramble so fast to get somewhere. I saw you sitting there, right? I rented the room. I was there as well. Right downstairs, and at any time, Chuck. No, Chuck the truth seeker. At any time, truth seeker Chuck, you could have walked downstairs. You know who I am, right? And
why would I do that?
Listening to you espouse the garbage. Listening to you espouse the garbage that you do, Chuck. I'm not going to let you filibuster me, old man. Sit down in your chair. All right. Listening to you spew garbage and hate and vitriol to people with absolutely no factual information at all. No factual information. You talk about decorum. You're out there talking about people's children, you sick old man. You shouldn't be allowed next to anybody's soccer games. They should put you in the white band club, buddy. You can put that in your lawsuit. I'm waiting for you to bring it. You got nothing, Chuck. No, listen, I get my 5 minutes. You can say what you want, right? You can say I'm not going to stop, Chuck. And tonight when this all comes out, this is what I'm going to tell you.
Old man, knucklehead.
My wife never once swore. She didn't swear at the meeting. She didn't swear in the text back and forth with you.
I don't swear.
She calls you out for your absolutely hypocrisy and lies. Listening to you really dribble on in your newsletters like an old geriatric version of the National Enquirer, okay? Sent off to people on Facebook. You think that gives you some pious reason to say that you're an arbiter of truth? Chuck, you never posted anything with factual information about me or my wife. And that's why I'm here. I'm not going to let you just talk and talk and talk. Try to talk over me. When the truth of the matter is this, I brought evidence. I brought factual evidence. And the reason I didn't come on and debate you, Chuck, before this is this exactly, because this is how you act, right? And on top of it, the thing is,
I'm not sure we're accomplishing anything here. Hold on a second. No.
Hey, Donna,
No.
Donna, don't let him tell the lies. His wife came on my page. My page.
There's not a single swear word she's ever posted.
Okay,
I've got all the screenshots, Chuck, and so does Donna.
So this is like violating the first rules that I set up for an actual debate.
I was supposed to get 5 minutes. I mean, I didn't get no time.
But guys. Okay, now think about this. I'm going to sit here as mom here a minute.
I'm sorry. He's showing his colors, Donna.
Yeah, Chuck, but you didn't give him a chance to finish his 3 minutes. You jumped on him. So, yeah, you did. You did.
I stayed quiet the entire time. I didn't say a word.
You're siding with
I thought
no, I'm not.
You didn't. Master. What about decorum? I let you speak. It's my turn.
You didn't give him a chance to talk. You have a chance to respond in your 3 minutes, but you blew past.
A1, there's things, laws.
No,
I can't wait. Bring it. Bring it. I hope you file a suit against me so fast, baby. You bring it.
Chuck,
I'll pay for you to file it. Old man,
just a minute. You have to give each other a chance to talk. And Chuck, no, stop a minute. You didn't give him his minutes to talk. You jumped on.
Sorry.
It is not okay to do that. I don't care who anybody is. If we're going to try to give people a chance to talk, you got to give them 3 minutes.
I told you what was going to happen.
But why didn't you give him his 3 minutes?
We'll give him his 3 minutes.
You didn't give him his 3 minutes.
Debate master, bring it.
You didn't give him his 3 minutes. So we're going to try this again.
He did the same thing. I tried. You wouldn't let me, but he started doing the same thing.
Chuck, no, he didn't. He sat there quiet. You have to give him his 3 minutes.
I didn't say a word when you spoke. I didn't say a word when you spoke, old man.
Okay, so, and I don't really care. You guys can call me any words you want. It doesn't matter to me. But you know what? Listen. We're going to give him 3 minutes to talk. In fact, 5 minutes now, because he didn't.
Then it would go.
He did not get his 5 minutes.
Was he behind? There's a question that someone asked.
He didn't give. You have not given him 1 second to talk without jumping him.
I thought you said anytime, any place, Chuck. Anytime, any place.
Okay. Stop. All right. Give him 5 minutes to talk without uttering 1 word. And then that is a proper way. Actually, it's been more like 10 that he hasn't been able to talk. You've been able to talk over. This is incredibly incredibly disrespectful. Chuck, it's disrespectful.
You did. You talked in between there. You did.
Let's
be honest.
No, I didn't. Now you're going to give him 5 minutes to talk.
Sorry, it was.
Okay, this is his time to talk. The phone goes away. All right, so you've got 5 minutes to talk. Okay,
thanks, and I don't even need 5 minutes. I don't need 5 minutes. This is the crux of it. Okay, this is the kind of ops that are being ran on people, on both sides.
They're being run on both sides.
They're being run on both sides, right? And he's accusing me and my wife of doing this. When I'm telling you right now, me and my wife's intentions this whole time have been to get truth out, right? And my wife was only there to support me because I was a huge supporter of Christina. Nobody knows this, but this summer her car broke down, right? And you know who lent her a brand new truck from my business so she could drive it around for a week? Me. You know who raised $20,000 for her campaign? Me. Do you know who loaned her $1,000 so she could start her 527 to run for chair with Pago? Me. Do you know who ran her floor count to whip the votes so she could get elected and make deals with the other chair candidates if there was one to be made to build a coalition? Me. Do you know who pushed everyone in my orbit to support her, even as things started to crack on the facade during midsummer, up until they called me to run Mackinac? And they did call me to run Mackinac. You want to know why? Because I have the link that Christina sent to me that had all the documentation in it that kicked off my report. And the reason I didn't come on or respond to Chuck and all of his nonsense is A, it's nonsense, but B, when it got personal and he went after my kids talking about how they should be calling CPS on them, right? And that my wife was some Jerry Springer person, right? And she's the most straight-laced, sweet woman you've ever met. She's smart and she's sharp, but I won't stand by and let this man trash her or me in the name of what he calls his truth and this and that and facts. I got a 140-page report that you can read that was written by the former Assistant Attorney General of Michigan, okay? That's who wrote the report, Chuck. It's not a Google Doc, buddy. This is the real deal, and guess what? I'm going to break some news right now. we're filing criminal complaints this week. So you will see the lawsuits, Chuck, but they'll be against people that you think are great.
Can I speak, Donna?
This was yes, and this is what I want. Please take turns.
Warren, first of all, your wife is not the sweet person you want to make her to be. She was there. That's why the security was right around her. Why I was standing next to him, because they weren't sure what she was going to do. They weren't sure whether she's going to attack Joe or what. She started screaming. Right? So that's where the Jerry Springer come from. Second of all, you talk about CPS. The reason the CPS was mentioned was because your words in a meeting, your words, Warren, F-bombs. If that was on a field and I was reffing, you'd be thrown out for 2 matches. You should have been thrown out there. There were little kids in the audience. Little kids. They were Ben Joseph's kids. There were little kids in the audience. And you're using words F-bomb. You had no remorse about that. None. That is a lack of character. That is a strict lack of character. And what happened? You didn't do anything about it when it was brought up. In terms of you going after your wife came after me on my Facebook page. I didn't go after her. I didn't know who she was. She came after me. You know what? And you bet. I don't like being attacked on there because I know what it is. If someone opposes her or opposes you, they come at you. You haven't come after me. At least I don't remember. If it is, you're not on my page. She does. But I wondered where you were at. Because in all that, I would think a real man would support his wife, as you said. But there's something amiss here. Why? I mean, CPS. What is CPS? What is it you're talking about?
Let me put this on the screen here a minute. I'm gonna show this a minute because
anyway,
and then
Warren,
no. I'm gonna read this. Chuck, hold on. I'm gonna read this. Yeah, I am going to interrupt you a minute because I'm going to read this.
I told you you're biased.
No, I'm going to read this. It said, Kelly was you in this text. It says, never have I seen a Republican act like you with the total lack of class. CPS should have a complaint on you because I feel sorry for your children because as parents, both you and Warren have not done a thing except whine. Well, I'm really
that is very true. That's an opinion. That is an opinion, and because it was based on Warren's words. Warren used an F-bomb. He knew the kids were in the audience. He knew it. The kids were right there with Ben, and yet he did it. Now that's just not being professional.
Well, I've seen worse, and like I've seen worse in these things, and I'm not saying this, but CPS is not an okay thing, and
I don't agree. I don't disagree.
It really is. There's no laughing joke.
Donna, that was a comment made to him to focus on what he says. The fact that he uses an F-bomb, that is out of control. He should have never used that word. That you use that. He used it more than once. Why? What was his whole purpose? Does he deny that he used it?
I don't think anybody denies anything, but like for me right now, it's like I honestly Chuck, I honestly think I get an opinion here too. I honestly think that we know that CPS is the largest child trafficking organization in the United States.
I don't know that.
I know that.
I don't know that fact.
Then you need to get educated on it because Tara Rodas is a whistleblower from inside CPS, and she's friends with many very good people and has provided all the proof of this. And they're getting $1 million a kid to legally kidnap them. This is no joke out there. They are trading in kids. And so to give an organization like CPS, which is a criminal organization, in my opinion, who uses the law to justify is really a scary thing. And it's a terrible thing to families.
That's no different than to Alexa Otti and those guys and Nick Prill. That's no different than that. And they're getting thrown off of their committees.
Oh, I listen to everyone. It doesn't matter who they are.
All right, so let's correct a couple facts real quick. All right. So I gave you time to diatribe. Let's correct a couple facts. All right. So it's not Benjamin Joseph's kids, first of all. All right. They were Lauren Turner's kids. I spoke to Lauren about it, and we've spoken about it several times. She's actually posted that her kids have heard far worse. Here's the other thing: the meeting was at Macomb County GOP Executive Committee meeting. There were no kids in the meeting when I was there. I didn't even see the kids. I didn't know there were kids in the meeting until after I had said the F-bomb, so to speak. The reason I use the F-bomb, Chuck, is because this is serious stuff, man. These are felonies, and you're carrying these people's water. You're carrying these people's water. You're enabling. If you say that if you think that we're the party of law and order, but then you're gonna placate to the people that are the lawbreakers, then you're part of the party. Are you doing the thing again, Chuck? Are you doing the thing again? Are you gonna try to talk when I'm talking? Is that what you're doing? Because I'm quiet when you talk.
Yeah, I will.
Do you know how to debate, Chuck? Do you have a clue?
I agree. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Lloyd. I'm waiting.
Yeah.
So go ahead and clear the other facts in that. So you didn't know that there were kids in the room.
Yeah, absolutely
and
not.
you did talk to the mom that was there.
So, no, but
This
this is another
really needs
point.
to be about the kids.
Yeah, but this is another point about where Chuck doesn't have information. He says that he's got the facts in his newsletter and his Jerry Springer Inquirer Facebook page or whatever.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't have any facts. Every time he thinks he's got something, he's gone.
Oh,
He's a
really?
half-truth teller, just like the Karamo administration. And he goes after people's families.
there we go.
My kids
There
are
we
not
go.
the only
There we go.
person, the only kids he's went
There we
after.
go.
How
There
do
we go.
they let you on a soccer field? You're like one of those white van people supporting.
Like what?
I would worry about you.
Okay.
What did he call
All
me?
right. Hold on.
What did he call me?
We're
Hold on.
gonna stop impugning each other.
What did he call me, Donna? What did he call me right there?
Yeah, we need to.
I said
we need
white
to
van people. I would be worried about you.
So
You made a. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! This tape will be used for evidence.
I
There's
hope
no
you
doubt
just
about
file it. Just bring it. Just bring it.
it. Okay, no doubt, no doubt. Warren,
okay.
great.
So I think that we could probably go into a civil approach to this, but now that we've got all of our anger out here,
It won't because Warren.
because
at 8 o'clock tonight he'll go over this report and it will go nowhere. It'll go nowhere because the problem is you got two sides evenly divided, and this is what happens. Unfortunately,
we have an entire system that is wrecked. The entire Republican Party is a train wreck. This is why people like me from the outside look at this whole process and say this whole process is broken beyond repair. There's no way to fix this. And when I've seen enough proof. I've seen the proof of CPS kidnapping children. I've seen it and I've heard it, and it's there. It's indisputable. I've seen the other proofs that are out there. I'm looking at this report, and I got to tell you, I've got some questions, and I told Warren I was going to bring this up. I will listen to anyone, no matter which side is on. The report is written by somebody from Warren, Norcross, and Judd. I have a lot of questions there. However, every single organization is corrupt as hell out there. And so we're going to listen to individuals and make the decision for ourselves whether this sounds palatable. And hopefully it will instigate people to do some more research, not to find out for themselves. What I've seen from the books of the Republican Party, the MIGOP, is more than a little suspect. What I've seen by people that are actually resigning because of their questions of being dragged into a legal system that they're going to go to jail. If they don't say something, move away from it, they're probably going to go to jail for what's being done inside of there. That's what I'm seeing. And it's a real concern. And so I would love it if we could all, instead of flying attacks from both sides, because it's happening, if we could say the core issue here is, and what we need to understand is, we're all standing here to protect the children. That should be our very, very first, and truly acting like adults to protect them and get to the core of the issue. This report needs to come out, because from what I've seen, and the firing of people and putting felons in place, you can't justify this in any way, shape, or form. So I want to look at the report. It's 140 pages. I have not read the whole report. I have seen the basis for the beginning of the report, which I think is valuable. We need to look at that. And outside of that, if somebody has a problem with language, I get it. A lot of people have problems with language that's said, or with processes that are out there. We all do. But we need to honestly haul it back in and be able to talk about the core issues out there, which is, how are we going to fix this nation? I've not seen one motion out of the Republican Party that tells me that anyone wants to see this thing go forward, because we're spending too much time fighting each other at this point in time. And so the core issues, let's listen to this report, make decisions on our own. And I'm going to read some comments. The comments are flying out here. This is great. It's engaged. And I want to thank everybody for the comments out there, because we're talking about getting to the bottom. And, somebody saying an F-bomb, I'm great. I respect everybody's opinion on this, and I respect trying to protect the children, but we don't call CPS on people's family, and I think they're the enemy. Yeah, they're the enemy. And so hold on.
Stop. I didn't call CPS. It was in there. I said they should be because of their behavior. It's their behavior. It's Warren and his wife. That was the whole.
But you're not seeing anything that's an actual threat. They weren't. That somebody in a meeting that says the F-bomb. You know, I know pretty much everybody out there says the F-bomb from time to time. Doesn't translate.
The soccer coach has never heard an F word. Give me a break, old man.
It's not acceptable. It's not. That's why they get thrown out. One. They get thrown out.
Why? Listen. You come on and you tell my wife that politics is smash mouth. You engage in the arena, but you're such a dove that you can't hear a swear word in a closed meeting that's supposed to be for adults after 9 p.m. You're a hack. You're a hack. Even listening to you now, it's just gibberish.
Warren.
Gibberish.
You don't have anything to worry about.
Gibberish.
Somebody just asked me, when was the last time I reached out to Cramo's people? I reached out to Cramo's people over and over and over again, and they never responded to me.
Remember, Donna?
What's that?
They're asking you a legitimate question. I would like to know that too.
I have reached out. Well, you got to let me answer it, Chuck. You can't keep talking because I can't answer it if you're talking. Okay. So the answer is that I saw Christina Cramo when Mary Flynn was in town, and I said, let's get together and reach out. That was before she kicked me out of the meeting. I called. You get to let me talk. It's rude as hell to talk over the host. Okay. And so right now I reached out to Cramo's Cramo's camp, and they were concerned. Dan Hartman called me, and I'm like, you kicked out of a meeting someone who was asked to be there by Mark Fortin and Lisa Mankiewicz, somebody who was and you're expecting me to know these obscure rules that you pull out of your back pocket anytime you want to make a public thing that people on the outside are supposed to know. They did not go. Christina did not go to Mark and Lisa and say, you know what, you need to handle this because she was not supposed to be here according to the rules, though they asked me to be there and there was no way for me to know the rules. And up to that point in time, I supported Christina, and I was as a member of the Taxpayers Party, the Constitution Party, the real Constitution Party, to support her and see this nation taken back. I want the most qualified candidate. I want the most qualified people who will get in there and get the job done. And I went there in order to be supportive of the Republican Party as another party, to bring peace to both sides. And she asked me to publicly, she asked me to leave, to create a shit show. And I'm going to say the word because that's what it was. So they called me later at night. And Dan and her both apologized. And I'm going to tell you exactly what was said. And I'm like, what was said was well, we have these rules, Donna, that so there are rules within the party to keep people out that don't know they're stupid rules. And she said, because we don't want the Democrats to know what we're doing. Well, you know what? They never in this meeting, they never showed anybody that was sitting there the financials. It's because they couldn't make the projector work in any meaningful way. It was an illegal meeting because they never showed the information there. Hold on. And then not only that, she asked me to leave, and somebody that was there to try to bring who had no ill intention. I was just saying, okay, if they can make this work, that's great. We will get behind it. And that's the sentiment of most people out there. We've got to have the best people out there to make this work. And she's like, well, we don't want to have the Democrats know. Well, she didn't want the whole party to know what they were doing because she didn't share any of the information. And she didn't share anything out there about the $400,000+ in debt, and had the audacity to ask everybody in the Michigan party to bail them out at $100. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous how they were saying to bail them out of their bad decisions. And one bad decision led to the next. Then they let go of Danny Bartolotta and Lois and Don Beatty, and they replaced them with people who were felons. And I'm sitting there going, what in anybody's right mind, if I was running a company, would justify replacing people that were there working on it in the last minute with felons to run a party? And I'm like, and the story just went worse to worse to worse. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I said to Christina, I said, so So 90% of the people in this place want to see you gone. I was the only one that had been unwavering support up into that minute, and it said, we're going to give her time. Tom Norton called me within 2 weeks and said, we got to remove her. And I'm like, wait, you guys haven't even given her a chance. And I remember the call, and I'm like, so within 2 weeks of voting her in, they're already talking about removing her. And this was within the party. And people were calling me and saying it right away. And I was giving her a chance until I saw catastrophic failure. And this Republican Party is going to lose the election to communists, to the state. There's no hope. So go ahead, Chuck.
I have to go. I got the state of Michigan. I got civil rights action. I filed it. I got to call him. Watch what's going on. You watch in a week.
I appreciate everyone fighting for this nation. I really do. Whether or not we agree with each other on how to get there, we have to get there in an honest way. But the truth has got to be out for everyone. But thanks for being on today, Chuck.
You can discuss it with Warren while I'm on the phone with the state.
Okay.
See,
bye.
Civil rights is pretty neat.
Okay, so hopefully we're not. I don't want to have any more attacks on here. Let's just talk and see if we can get anything. I gotta stop in though about what you were talking about. But she kept you out of the meeting because she said that we don't let the Democrats know what we're doing, right, Donna? She said that to you. Well, I've been called a rhino. Right? Hold on. Let me why this is important. Yep. But Donna, this is the key. In the report, it talks about how Christina runs an organization in Nevada where they help elect Democrats. Your state party chair today is working to help elect Democrats in a sister organization that she's part of, right? Probably accepting a paycheck as the president of Unauthorized.1. So she kept you out of a meeting because you could possibly be leaking information to whoever, but she's actually actively working in a 501c4 to elect Democrats. That's your party chair. And about people that they hired, Robert Owens, right? That you were talking about when they fired Dan. He's a felon, but he hired 12 hookers. It was in his divorce filing, 12 hookers, and he can't pay his kids' child support, and he's $100,000 in arrears. He's a deadbeat, right? These are the people that Chuck's defending, by the way, right? These are the people that he tags in his posts. No, they're in his posts on Facebook. I'm not telling anybody anything different. He's been on your show to talk crap about me. I'm not going to let him get away with it. You know, the guy with the red glasses. Is that kind of like the red shoes, right? We all know what the red shoes mean. I don't want to go there because we can't go into this until we have proof on what we're saying. We have proof that there are felons sitting in the MIGOP. Right. We have proof that there are some things that are wrong. And I mean, I'm not going to disparage people on kind of sort of opinions or anything like this. We have to sit there. Back to me. Yeah, be back to you. Don't go into Stupidville, Warren. Don't do it. Listen. You've got enough things that we can talk about. With a guy like that, it's the only way that you can speak to him. Right. And you can have a normal conversation going forward, but so somebody said goes after people's families. I can't do that. I can't let it go on. I don't want to see going after people or people's families. Stick to the issues. Somebody said in there, you were not a state committee member, so you were not allowed to be there. But the thing of it is that was one of those obscure rules. But there were other people that were there that were not on state committee, and they were not asked to leave. I was the only one who was asked to leave, who was not on state committee. Donna Brandenburg was targeted by the Christina Caramo and the administration to leave publicly when there were other people who were not on state committee who were allowed to stay. Correct. This is the problem. I have reached out to her. I was the one who was trying to get her on and give her time to talk. No, we're not going to sit and talk with Donna. She came to my barn when she first was running and such, but I don't know. She doesn't even look like the same person anymore. So, and no, I did not leave the Republican Party. The Republican Party left me just like they left Donald Trump. They left Donald Trump. You will not hear any of them, none of them, fighting for election integrity. They're sitting on that administration because they're too busy rewriting the freaking rules and rewriting the rules. Getting rid of people who are actually trying to fight for the election. We all know it's a crap show out there. They will not, nobody's standing with Locust Standy, which is out there trying on a local level to go through this. Locust Standy, I don't know how much you know about Locust Standy, Warren, but Locust Standy has done some amazing things. Even the election integrity force. So this is it. I talk to everybody. I get the election integrity force that's on here, and everybody's like, oh, this person within her is bad. This person is bad. This person is good, because they've all been infiltrated. They have, there's 3 people on election integrity force, which I give hats off to in this organization. And everybody goes, Donna, you're full of crap. No, I'm not. I've talked to them all. And I can tell you the ones that I know are honest is Scott Ogney, Joanne Bacali, and Sandy Kiesel in election. If you want to listen to anybody that's telling you the truth, those 3 are. Those are the 3.
That's my point. Like, everybody's got an opinion about how everyone's a baddie, right? Everyone's
everybody's a baddie.
Everyone's opposition. Everyone's baddie. Everyone's lying about everybody. Like, what you have to do is you have to look at people's fruits, right? What are the fruits? Those EIF has pulled a lot of stuff over the line, man. You can't say that those people are bad actors. On its face, it's just not honest. Like, we need to get real honest. And the reason I didn't come on and debate anybody earlier or anything else is because I'm here to do what I promised to do, which was deliver truth and facts. Chuck should love that. He should welcome it to the party. And the reason I stayed silent until the report was ready was because the report are the facts. The report is testimony. It's documents. It's, it's affiant. This is what it takes.
It looks to be factual to me, and it was presented by somebody within that was what was the assistant attorney general.
Yeah, that's what I would like to say too. I want to comment on that real quick.
It's not just a non-person out there.
Don't take my credibility. Take an attorney who's never lost a criminal case, who's a former assistant attorney general of the state of Michigan at he's a partner at one of the most prestigious law firms in our state. Okay. He's an RNC attorney for election integrity. He'll be our point person that comes down in 2024. Do you think this guy is going to risk his career on the rantings of some guy that's spewing lies? He wouldn't have taken the job, right? Attorneys get to choose who they represent. It's just like the cake baker in Colorado, right? They don't want to bake the cake. They don't have to. It's the same thing with an attorney. He could have looked at what I said and said, you're crazy. You want to know what? In the beginning, he did. He did. He said, there's no way this can all be what you think. But over time, and he started talking to people, everyone's saying the same thing. All the documents point to the same thing that I'm saying. I didn't come here to talk about people personally. I came here to talk about what was going on. Now everybody's personal about what's going on because the truth's coming out.
Well, and some of the problem is that we're going to just keep working our way through this, because sometimes there's misunderstandings. Sometimes there's people that are meaning to do the right thing and they don't express themselves well. Some people go right into instead of trying to resolve it for the nation, into personal attacks. And I don't agree with those, but I can look at things that are not correct and make a decision. So Silly Saha says you can't do that. It says, didn't you leave the Republican Party? No, I didn't. I was abandoned completely and utterly, and split the vote instead of why didn't anybody in the party stand up for me when I was attacked by the Board of Elections, when they lost the signatures? Why didn't anyone? No one stood up for me. And this goes back to all the fraud that's being covered up by the whole mess of them. This is a whole huge uniparty situation. There was no one that was righteous in this thing. So Christina asked me to leave the meeting. Let's go back to this. The only person, and I wasn't the only person that wasn't on state committee.
Correct.
Instead of going to Mark and Lisa, who asked me to come to this, how am I as somebody that yes, you'll be welcomed in here? I was told that I would be welcomed in there because I was speaking for Christine. I could have been there for media. And somebody said that too, that you should have been okay about being in there as media. What are they hiding? Why isn't the media, the media should be allowed to broadcast this. It's like, I try to broadcast stuff that's for that. We have nothing to hide in the Taxpayers Party. I'd say anything in front of anyone. And it's just like this. I get on here almost every weekday. I mean, some weekdays I'm gone. Like this weekend, I was in Mar-a-Lago and I was at New York City at the Young Republicans Club. I spent more time and money on Republican issues because it's like Republican being a republic form of government, to hand this to we the people. I never needed this job. I got a great life and I can make money without having to grift off the freaking system like the rest of these morons out there is. I don't need anything from anybody. Okay. And President Trump was the same way. But I asked Christina when she called, and her voice was shaking because she knew she was going to get a Donna Brandenburg ass chewing from me with no backing down from this. And you all have never seen an epic Donna Brandenburg ass chewing. I would, make General Flynn look like a piker with this. Okay. So I called her and I said, she goes, well, we have to hide things from the Democrats. Really? Really? How many Democrats you got sitting in there, honey? You got a lot of them. And 90% of the people there want to see you fail to keep the, and I said that to her. And I said, how's that working for you? Where'd the leaks come? It came within your party. That means that you are already taken down from within. And then what does she do? Whether or not Christina has the brain power to run this organization, which I have serious questions because she's listening to people around her. She's listening to people around her, taking advice from people who are not giving her good advice. And she doesn't have the fortitude to stand up against things that are wrong. Okay. She didn't have control of the meeting. None of the information was put out there and nobody got it afterwards. So I'm asked to leave somebody who supported her as a patriot and an American until they prove themselves wrong. So I said, so what are you going to do? You're going to hide it from everybody out there, what you're doing, the finances that you're hiding from everyone? I said, how's that going to work? You will not put it out there that the party is $400 some odd $1,000 in debt and asking all of these people to put bad money, good money, their good hard-earned money after bad. I did not ask people for money. I figured it the hell out. And people within these parties need to have the mental fortitude to get handed something. We have dug out of more than, we had somebody that forged our names to $13.7 million at one point in time. I didn't sit there and cry and bitch and make this everybody else's fault. And neither did my husband. We looked at each other and said, we're going to take this on and we're going to make this
Americans. We bootstrap.
I didn't sit there and make this everybody else's fault or problem. It's like have the brain power and the fortitude and the smarts to figure it out and be a leader that protects the people instead of making this everybody else's fault because of your bad decisions, Christina Caramo.
Well,
and as far as reaching out, she won't talk to me. After that point in time, she went back into her little coward hole and would not come forward and talk. I have asked her to come on. I have asked to what can I do to help you from the beginning with no malice and anything else. We have to take the state back. And so there is your answer. Christina Caramo wants to come on here and talk about this. Bring her on. That's great. But you better come for answers on why she's hired felons and got rid of good people. And I don't care whose advice she's, if she doesn't have the mental capability to run this thing without having people tell her what to do, she's unqualified. And you hired her team. You didn't hire her because she's being told what to do by people. You're not, this is the problem in politics. You're not getting people that you're hiring to do a job for this nation. We are not, who have the mental fortitude. The people that are in the positions are functional idiots that are up there. They can't make decisions by themselves. It is the people around them because they're not smart enough. They're compromised. They are compromised idiots who are mouthpieces to the puppet masters behind them. And that's all we've got. That's it. We got nothing. And at this point in time, burn the party to the ground. You darn right we should burn it to the ground because I haven't seen enough IQ of anybody out there all put in one basket, rubbed together to be able to run anything, even an ant farm. But everybody's got an opinion. Well, really? If you got an opinion and you're that smart, how come it hasn't been fixed? This is as dumb as hiring Joe Biden to be president. He's in office for 49 years, or whatever he was. And we think he's going to fix the problem. We think that these people in the Republican Party that are sitting there are going to fix this problem. If you think you're going to fix it right now with the amount of corruption that's there, this is the same mentality, mass psychosis that put the Nazis, which is NA, the Socialist Party of Germany, and ZI, the Zionists, who gave them the money and the power to run it forward to kill their own people. If anybody thinks anything else like that, I can't help you. You're right there in the basket of people who have a low IQ. Because it ain't going to work. We have done the same thing the same way, and it's not working. And all we can see is this degradation going down. So for everybody out there, let's see. We're going to go, Chuck is rude. I agree that this, if we cannot sit and listen to people talk and bounce it back and forth. So everyone, whether you like Warren or not, I don't care. Whether you like CJ or not, I don't care. Whether you like Donna Brandenburg or not, great. You're probably in the majority. I don't really care. I'm an American and I have the right to my opinion, and that's it. And I don't get paid by anyone or be told what to think.
Same.
And so it's somebody out there said that says Warren's a felon. And
I am. I want to talk about that. Let me talk about that real quick, Donna.
It's slander if you don't have proof. That's another one that came through.
No. This is what I want.
This is a comment. It said it's slander if you don't have proof. That's exactly it. We have to go back to proof.
Yeah. I was arrested in 2009 for a third DUI. It was the last drink I ever had was the night I got pulled over. I remember walking into my very first AA meeting. It's what my lawyer told me to do. I walked in there, saw all these people all smiling, drinking coffee, eating cookies. I'm thinking to myself, what the hell are these people so happy about? I stuck around long enough to find out what it was. The program gave me a happy, joyous, free life. I've been able to help sponsor over 100 young men over the line. I became a national victim impact panel speaker for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So anyone that got a DUI while I was serving in that capacity had to come listen to me and a victim's parent, brother, or sister talk about the loss of their life. And then I talked from the offender standpoint. I spoke at the Michigan Highway Safety Summit in front of state police to help lower recidivism rates. So you can say that all you want, but it's what we do in America after we come to crisis, right? And we love a comeback story. So I took the lemons and I made lemonade. Listen, that was the best thing that ever happened in my life. And it's probably what, at such a time as this, that God has kind of baptized me by fire to sit in a situation like this and not care what other people think. I'm so far past that stuff. And I hope more people talk about it because, call me a felon. I'd love to tell you the story on what I did with that mistake in my life and how I overcame.
Right. But this is it. It's like, okay, if someone such as yourself who is arrested and had a felony in your background
14 years ago, not a drink since, by the way.
But 14 years ago, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point in time. And I was going to be running a company, and let's just say that we are a distribution for alcohol. I would not hire you for that position. Right? I would put you in a better position. If somebody committed wire fraud, which Copus has, I would not put that person, I don't care how long it is, in as an administrator or manager in charge of the money, because I would choose somebody else. That would be an automatic disqualifier.
What about Robert Owens for fundraising? Right. He was just convicted of stealing clients' money, and you got him up on. He gets convicted on November 11th, 2023, and 10 days later, we put him in a position to take pictures with Carrie Lake after he was just convicted. You know, the guy hired 12 prostitutes over the year in his divorce filing, and he's $100,000 and isn't paying for his kids' child support. You got this guy as your fundraiser? The party's a joke.
It is a joke, and that's the problem that I have with it right now, is that any of us from the outside are, and because on the outside of all of this, I was, like I said, I hated politics. I thought everybody's liars, cheats, and thieves, and they are. I can tell you that from the inside. Everyone's spinning this in a direction. And it's like, I just want to get to the truth, and I want my country back. And I hope everybody decides to leave the farm here. I
want to go back to being a landscaper.
I just want the country to work, and I want to go back to shoveling horse crap. I have no interest in being a career politician. None whatsoever. I got asked to run because I am ornery with injustice, and lies. That's it. And they knew that I couldn't be corrupted over money, because I don't give a crap. I can live in a field with nothing, and it doesn't bother me. Or I can have I've been poor. I've been like dirt poor. And you know what that does? It gives you the fortitude and the ability to think, not to be an entitlement-minded little snowflake. You figure it the heck out. You don't go to everybody in the party when you're a leader like Christina did and go, well, whatever, we will do. Let's go, just like this is what politics as usual is. Let's go to everybody and ask them to bail us out when there's a problem. When you get handed a bad situation, no matter what it is.
No. She turned a populist working class party into the welfare party, right? She wants everybody else to pay for what her debts are. Okay,
I agree with that.
She's looking for bailouts. She's like Joe Biden. She wants to give bailouts to everybody. This is
I would agree with that. You don't go.
This is what we stand for as a caucus and as a body and as Americans. We are bootstrappers. We figure it out. She's turned us into the welfare party.
And if you want to, so Tom Renz isn't on here yet. I was supposed to have Tom Renz on here, so I'm going to see why he's not there. But that's okay. We'll just continue to go on. It's like we just got more time here, and they confirmed that they were on today at 10 o'clock. So maybe sometimes things happen. I mean, I've had Chuck that hasn't showed up or let me know what was going on a couple of times, and he was supposed to be on Monday mornings, and he's been under a lot of attack also. So a lot of the reaction that we see from people, both with Chuck and with everyone out there, that goes into fight mode. And I'm just going to say it, guys, this toxic masculinity, we're going to have to, pull up our big girl panties and our big boy panties and realize this is the way the world works. And we all have the ability and necessity to find better ways of doing things, but this is how things go. And hopefully we can learn better ways, but we got what we got right now. And so, but we're still trying to get to the bottom of this. But oh man, the chat's just going nuts here. I'm trying to keep up with it on BNN. So BNN Live is going nuts. I haven't gotten anything else up because I'm getting personal texts as well as, let me pull up Rumble and see if I get to my Rumble channels. I'm actually maintaining about five different,
you need a producer, girl.
Yeah, but I want everybody to think about this. If Christina would have come forward instead of trying to hide things, because she was absolutely hiding things.
I love that woman. I loved that woman. My kids, I have a 3-year-old now, but she was 2 years old when Christina ran. Okay. And I'm going to tell you this, when a commercial for Christina came on, my daughter knew her name and would yell Karamo at the TV. I loved this one. You know what I mean?
I just got a text in that said that somebody blocked. This is somebody that I know who works in intelligence, and he said they just blocked your broadcast and said it, and it's not online. So we're going to keep going because it's still going to be on Brandenburg News Network. Yep. So they said it was not available has come up. So somebody's blocking this, and this is what the censorship is because they don't want us talking.
I would ask the FBI informant.
Well, that is a problem. If I actually, this is kind of funny. I actually sat next to somebody at this Young Republicans Club, and it was kind of cool. I got to meet Rudy Giuliani. I got to meet Kash Patel, which, was really a highlight and exciting for me. I like to meet everyone. So we're still up on BNN Live. And so just so that everybody knows out there, let me throw something out there on Telegram a minute, because we're going to keep going. And then tonight we're going to keep going again. And hopefully this is like, what this is like? Okay. So I'm a mom, right? And this is like watching your two sons fight because they know they're right and they want to get things together. And it's like, okay, you love them both. You just kind of want to get to the truth here. So you listen to things for a while and listen to how they react because, they're full of all kinds of passion on what they believe is right and feel like there's an injustice done over something they love. You love your wife and your children. And I got to say, I think
it's the only reason I came on with that guy, because he's not worth my time, to be honest with you. Normally, listen, I'm not disparaging him. What I mean is that I've got a job to do, and it's to get this report out, and it's to
your first job is to protect your family.
No, and that's why I'm on here. That's 100% why I'm here this morning, right? Because this afternoon we're going to take care of some other business, but like this took precedent. And my thing with Chuck is this: if he would stop all of the kind of stalking behavior and personal attacks on people that he trades in so heavily, and he would just say, like he's got a thing with somebody else, I don't know who else he talks about, but XYZ person, they said this about this policy, or they hold this belief within the party, and it's outside of what our and that's where the schism is. But it's never that, right? It's always some diatribe about personal characteristics and nicknames and all this stuff, and that's not decorum, as he always likes to talk about, or discussion. I want to debate with the guy because I've got everything, right? But you can't have that, with some of these people, because they're not here for the debate. They're here for the distraction.
So I've got
cops that are running against people. I'm telling you, I know this because I do this stuff.
So my tech person is telling me, looks like BNN Rumble channel quit at 9:45. So somebody killed the Rumble channel.
As soon as
Chuck left, it killed my channel on Brand. So Brandenburg for Governor Rumble is still running, but it's a little glitchy. Both have raw views, but 0 unique views. So something's being goofed up intentionally. So somebody's in there hacking around. They can do that. But it's so they're both those Rumble channels are screwed up. But guess what? Like I've been saying, Brandenburg News Network, which is why I created that.
Get that server, girl.
It's still running up. And you know what? They try to screw with me there. We'll come back in 100,000 little incarnations because I can do that. I have the ability to do that. We're already
time and effort.
We're already into unique. We already have this stuff going in different regions of the United States. So if they screw with us in one region, it's going to just get moved to another, and we will get moved. You know what I was talking about this weekend? I think this is great. So now that we can have a discussion on this without being, I'll have to see what happened with Tom Renz, because I like Tom Renz. I've met him before and such. So we're going to continue on. Let me see if I can, I'm going to see if I can bring Brandenburg.
You know who you should have on next time? Andrew Huff. Look him up. I want to introduce you to him, Donna. You really got to hear what Andrew has to say.
He's talk to everybody. We'll see who kills this, because I find this to be really really amazing. So we'll see what happened with Tom Renz this morning, because I get it. People run into problems. Chuck said that somebody hacked his bank account. I don't know. I'm not there. But I know that my channel's been hacked as soon as he left. So something's going on there. And
maybe it's his friends from Chicago.
Yeah, it's like I've got my friend who works in intelligence just showed me when it was not available. When it got hacked was right after Chuck got off. That's what I know. And so let me bring up Brandenburg News Network Live, and we will go back through the comments, because guess what? I can do that, and I don't censor, and I don't stop people from talking.
Beautiful.
We're going to continue to have this conversation, and it is not going to be taken down. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is interesting. Let's see if I can go back. Let me see if I can go back up. I got to see if I can go back. Oh, here we go. This is interesting. That's why I had to leave. It said somebody said that. Oh, please let me see. Oh, yeah, I can go back from the beginning of this chat. How cool is this? So I'm going to do this while we're online, and then we can show everybody what's being said out there, because I'm really interested in the chat. So we'll see what's going on. Perfect. But I do know that happened. So now intelligence is involved in this now, because that's who I got the word from, which is really, everyone is showing their colors. Please talk. Please Warren, talk. Who's showing whose colors? Let's just keep doing this. Chuck is out of control. Chuck is showing his colors. Can't let anyone else talk. Let's see what we've got here. I'm going to see if I can. Oh, now Brandenburg News Network is glitching. Let's see what happens. And because now they're trying to screw with it here. Can you see that?
That's wild.
Yeah. So we're going to continue on. And I might go live on Telegram here if we can't get this going in the direction it needs to go. Let's see.
Hey, Donna, I do have a 10:30, but I might be able to push that.
No. Okay, so somebody else just came on and said we're working fine on Rumble. Don't believe the reports. So they're trying to create. Whoa, this is great. They're trying to create some problems. But I tell you what, I can read through these texts, and I've got them all saved off here. So it's still up and running somewhere. So just keep going. We're just going to keep going. But you know what? The thing of it is that see how where it got glitchy right after the fact. And I'm sorry, someone is working on screwing with the information. And when I see people that get out of control, this is not adult behavior. So it's like, oh, okay, it is. Tech says it is showing up fine on Tech's computer. So we're going good. So it just may be, we just have to keep going. But let me go back and read some of these comments. And I can do that after you're on here. But I'm going to say, I want to let everybody know that after I get off here just right here with Warren, would anybody else like to come on the show? Because I'll actually open up the lines. And you know what I'm thinking about doing? Honestly, I think I'd like to have a call-in show.
Let me try to call Andrew Huff. Do you know who he is? Because you're gonna have Tom Renz on, right? Tom Renz and Andrew know each other. Andrew was the whistleblower from Eco Health Alliance. He was the vice president of research.
Call him. We'll put him on right now. And then you can share the invite link that I gave to you, and we'll just put him on camera if he wants to come on. If not, he can call me and we'll do it that way.
Yeah. So let me do that. Go ahead and talk for a second. I'll take care of it.
This is real news by real people for real people at the kitchen table. This is how it works, guys. So let me see if I can. I'm going to see if I can try something. This is new skill for Donna here. Okay. So let me pull this back on, and we'll go and we'll read through some of the comments here if I can make this work. Okay. So when I'm managing like five things on the computer, it's always kind of interesting. Whose color is showing? Chuck's out of control. Chuck is showing his colors. Can't let anyone else talk. Donna, please moderate this and mute Chuck. Well, you know what? We're going to go through this, and sometimes it takes a little while. Here, I'm going to mute more in just a minute. We're gonna give everybody a chance to talk, and whether they can maintain the decorum of somebody we want to have on or not, we'll figure it out as we go, and that's okay. You know, this is the way we do things here. So hang on, let me see if I can go down here. Please moderate Chuck. Please, Donna, Chuck is talking over your show. Mute Chuck. I haven't learned anything new. Get this under control. Unprofessional. You know what? It is professional to let people talk. And, you know, it's like, because nobody is being professional out there. So we'll let them show their colors, and we'll see what's going on, if they can conduct themselves with the way they should or not. But hey, Donna, that way everybody can make a decision on their own. Yeah.
I did talk to Andrew Huff. He's going to get on right now.
That's good.
Yep.
Bring him on. And so as soon as I see him, I'll pull him on. But we're going to keep going here. CJ doesn't like anyone coming after him. That's hypocritical. It's all he does to others. F-bombs have nothing to do with calling CPS. Chuck is nuts. Chuck attacks everyone, and then he whines and cries, grow up. And yet Chuck thinks this is okay. Let's see, hang on. And yet Chuck thinks it's okay to say stuff like that. Using swear words have nothing to do with being a bad parent. What a nut job. I got to agree with that. Just because somebody swears doesn't mean that you turn them in or even bring in CPS. I think that that's an out of bounds activity. That's what I believe to be true. Other people believe differently, but I don't think that's okay to involve any legal threats on someone else's family. We either protect the sanctity. Yeah, I'm being shadow banned right now, according to what's going on out there. So the FBI is messing with us. That's okay. We're going to keep going. Chuck can't see it. He's having a hard time believing what he is. Warrant, let's see. Here we go. We've got agreed. There's nothing to do. F-bomb has nothing to do with slander. Warren is a liar and a hypocrite. What about all the veiled threats that you sent? Here, I'll unmute you here a minute. Let's see if I can unmute you. Can you unmute?
Yeah.
Yeah. Donna, you have to mute CJ and make him take turns speaking. We're working on it. You got to be a little patient, guys. And Chuck's glasses are like are they like pedo red shoes? I think that's an out of bounds comment, and I wouldn't say that shows a whole lot of intelligence there. Bring the proof.
My bad. Hey, I admit when I'm wrong. You're right. And that wasn't what I was referring to. I was asking a question. I asked, are the red glasses like the red shoes? That's all I was asking.
Okay. So anyhow, Donna, when was the last time you reached out to Cromwell? I answered that. You got a chance to hear my response to that, and that's been settled. You were not a SC member. That's already been settled, but I was the only one asked to leave. Let's see. They have to have rules. Well, they didn't follow the rules. They followed none of the rules while I was there. They never showed people the financials, so there's no rule following happening there. So now you've been on the warpath against her because you got your feelings hurt. No, I really don't have any dog in this fight. I have brought, as far as feelings, I can honestly tell you that I have no feelings about any of this. I want my country back. So let's see. Chuck is rude. You can say anything. If you call me any words you want, you can even call me the C word. I really could care less. You know, really doesn't matter. Now, can we have civil? Let's see. He left, and Ward admitted he's a felon in his speech. Yes, and that's okay. So we've gotten that out of the way. So we don't need to go back and revisit these. You're invited to the meeting and then made it a show to remove you. Why? That's exactly what happened there, and I agree with that. Really, what about the cases they won against Benson? None of them. You ignore the fact and make up BS. They won no cases that are of any
relevance. Nothing's going to happen.
No, it's all political legal theory. Let's look at your fruit, Warren. Threatening those and taking truth. Yeah, I am looking at the fruit because he's actually got a report out there. And the thing of it is I question where the report comes from. And I told him that before we got on. I'm not a fan of Warner, Norcross, and Judd because I've seen them. They're funding Act Blue. But we're going to look at the report on its value.
But I say this: they're a law firm. They're a law firm. They have clients. I didn't hire the law firm. I hired a guy that I trusted, and who didn't trust me. Right? Who didn't even trust me. I had to convince him to get to where the report is. So yes, he was speculative the whole time.
All broadcast is complaints bring solutions, and Chuck slanders everyone. It gets in the way. September 11th, with Robert Owens was found guilty on 6 felony counts. So this is a current thing. You do not put a person like that in charge of money. I don't care who it is. I wouldn't put you in charge of alcohol. Okay, I'm sorry. I just
as you shouldn't. As you shouldn't.
And so that's right. Christina's followers don't believe the facts of the people she has working for her. It's a cult. I agree with it being a cult. Thank you, Warren, for the explanation. I give you great respect for how you handled your errors, and I understand. Chuck reported it. Chuck is character assassination. And yes, let's bring Andrew on. And that's when I joined. And then somebody says that's why I had to leave, and that's where we are. So hey, let's get this party started, guys.
Yeah, Andrew's going to be a great guest for you. Trust me, you're going to be blown away by what he has to say.
I don't know. I hope that this is going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the feed here, and let's go ahead and bring. I'm going to stop that screen a minute. I'll get reports on that, and let's go ahead and bring on Dr. Andrew Huff. Good morning. How are you, sir? You're muted right now. You got to unmute. Can't hear you.
He's got 1 second. He's working through the technical difficulties real quick.
Yeah, that happens. Hey, you know what? It's real news for real people by real people at the kitchen table. Yeah, and I am going to Alexa and Holly DeBoer's event tomorrow night, and because I want to hear all sides.
Yeah, Gettysburg Gala. Buy a table, buy a ticket. Get out there and support these people.
I think for myself, and I'd love to have anybody show up that wants to call me any words that they want. Go right ahead. I'm not afraid of you. And you have the ability to say what's on your mind. There's no such thing as coincidence. Chuck leaves and the FBI shadow bans you. Things like that make you go, huh? Yeah. So that, I started getting shadow banned. That's what they're screwing with the thing. That's okay. Go to BrandenburgNewsNetwork.com. That's still there. Go to live. It's right up. I can see it. It's a little glitchy right now, but that's okay. We've got 52 people watching on one thing. And let's just keep going. I'm going to just keep this camera rolling, and we're going to bring the report out at 8:00 tonight. Go bring your family and friends. There will be no F-bombs on there. We will be talking. Let's just agree to try to be as not offensive as we can, just to bring the truth forward.
Yeah, tonight's facts. Tonight's going to be just facts, Donna. Like facts matter, so on and so forth.
Okay, so here we go. He was attacked. This is Kelly. He's been attacking me, this little fake news letter, so I defend myself. Lorna Turner, I have the email. Hitman, but you can attack people with questions. Lana or Lauren. It was a lot more concerned. I was a lot more concerned about Warren said than any cuss words. Lies are evil, cuss words aren't. It's Donna's damn show, Chucklehead. She can interrupt anyone she wants. Lauren, they were my kids. They're only there, and she's not offended.
Yeah, Lauren. I spoke to Lauren. I apologized to her and her husband. Right, her husband actually came downstairs that night. Right, during Joel's rebuttal to the room I had downstairs at the exact same venue to rebut the rebuttal in real time if they wanted to. Anybody could come ask me questions, and I apologized to her husband that night as well, and to the kids because they were there with them. So that's never my intention, right? That's not true.
I guess the thing is here, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the other one too. Let's see how many people are still hanging with us. This is the tough, the brave, and the mutts out here that are staying with us. I have quite a few people that are still watching right now, which is cool. We've got, I might just bring this back on again, and we'll do this again just to get people talking and see if we can actually talk like adults trying to rectify this. So, but 8:00 tonight. And so, people are hot about this, and they're going to make mistakes in the communication venue. On both sides, on every side, people have the right and should be mad as hell about what's going on in this nation. So there's, let's see. Kelly said he apologized and stopped swearing the second someone pointed that out, and Chuck wasn't even there. Lauren said he also apologized to my family, and I didn't think he needed to. Kelly said, thank you, Lauren. Lauren said, you're welcome, Kelly. Hitman said, get secondhand information, fake news, peekaboo, van scandal. Chuck's a crybaby, can't handle it when people give him a taste of his own medicine. Curtis says, this is almost embarrassing, like kids squabbling. Good grief. You know what? We're going to have to work through this, guys, and we have to be patient. Think about it as parents. When you see your kids, I mean, this is what it is. We're adults are just little kids with wrinkles, okay? And we go back to what we know a lot of time. So sometimes we got to go through this, and we're all parents at this point in time, probably watching the show. So we're going to go through this. We have the skill. We can do this, and we can bear with everything a little bit. Tell Chuck to be quiet and let Warren talk. Chuck is a Fed. Fake news, Chuck. You never fully vet your facts. Lauren said, my kids are up and around. Chuck is going to accuse you next, Donna. I don't give a rat's rear end. Curtis says, KK, stop texting and responding to myself as well. December 2022. I even requested a volunteer and have been ignored. I guess I'm not patriot enough. Oh, I was told at that meeting, and you know what Karama said to me when she kicked me out? She said, after all, Donna, you're not a real Republican. As she kicked me out. She said, you're not a real Republican. But she kicked me out, but she let other people stay. And
she's actively working with Democrats, this woman. Okay. I mean, it's crazy.
Patrick said, Christina won't even take calls from Donald Trump anymore. Hasn't for over a year. I heard that she missed 2 meetings and she didn't have a
I've got that in testimony, by the way.
I do have seen that too. Sorry, little man can't handle this. Someone's running scared. It's going nowhere. Oh my God, now he has to leave. So much debate for the debate. Chuck had to go change his pants. Well, Warren won the debate 100%. Nick says, KK must be getting advice from people like Chucklehead. No wonder they're not in his position. Why is this all about you? Don't you have a guest? Okay, good enough. KK, I don't care. It says what it is. At least I'm out here doing something instead of sitting there like a crybaby in a freaking corner and refusing to come out of it. Yeah, this is it. It's like, I love these people that snipe from the shadows that won't put their real name out there. You just lost all respect. Go ahead and put your face in front of the camera and stamp your name on it, and then you'll get some respect out of me. He doesn't run away. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get.
I got to run in 3 minutes.
Okay, we're going to get Dr. Andrew Huff on, who is friends with Tom Renz. I hear. Thank you and welcome.
Not necessarily friends.
Well,
you'll hear it.
Can you hear me now? Is my audio okay?
Yeah, you're good. We can hear you.
Okay, good. I was not expecting this. I was about to work out, and then I got a text, and hey, hop on this.
You know what? This is what we all do. We pop on. This is no setup. None of us knew what was going to happen until 11:30 last night. There was no setup, and we just pop on. If someone wants to come on, I'll bring them on. So there you go. Well, welcome. What do you? I'm gonna let you guys talk a minute. So go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I wouldn't say that I'm friends with Tom Renz. I'd say that I ran a counterintelligence operation on him for 2 years, trying to figure out who he was. And he's playing with some dark, shady people. And to go through that whole story would take a while, but Tom Renz came into my life. I was introduced to him. He was going to represent me as a whistleblower, and he was going to represent several other prominent U.S. military, U.S. government whistleblowers related to the origin of SARS-CoV-2 and vaccine injuries. Well, he screwed up almost every case. Every whistleblower that he worked with is either furious with them or fired him in one capacity. Including myself. He recorded a deposition under oath with penalty of perjury, which he never did anything with, which would have been very helpful protecting me and saving me from some of the harassment I received from quote unquote patriot groups, the government, the DeVos family, and all this craziness that I wandered into. And, it begs the question, what is Tom Renz doing and what is the agenda? Who pays him? Because I was introduced to Christina and Robert Owens via Tom Renz. So Tom Renz, out of the blue, after I stopped talking to him, contacts me and says, we need to get you elected. And they've been encouraging me to run for office here in the state of Michigan, which I'm not completely opposed to. And we're still trying to figure that out. But next thing you know, Christina shows up at my house with Owens about 2 weeks before my GOP. And, I live up in the UP near Marquette. And it's not exactly like a close drive from someone from Central Ohio to come cruise up to the UP. Just to for a meet and greet. And so we have 2 days of talking about politics, and they're trying to evaluate me, and I'm learning about what Christina's role is with the state and what she's been through. And it's great. And then at the last minute they hit me up for $20,000 as they're leaving.
Oh, that was what happened to me. Is $20,000 or you won't get on the ballot. And that was I've got somebody here that can say that was an ex-congressman that did that, and also offered me a stick with blackmail material on every member of Congress and said, you can use this and it'll get you in, and if you don't, it's going to get you killed. I was like, there's the freaking road, don't come back.
Yeah. And so my experience was interesting. So I played it cool. I'm like, okay, well, I'll think this over. And the gall of Tom Renz, Tom Renz knows that I've lost over $200,000 in this fight personally. My company lost $4.5 million when I decided to go down this path. So I've given more time and money than most people in this freaking cause. And when they come hit me up for another 20 grand that I don't have, I play cool. And then 2 days later, I light them up on a group text message thread, very profanity laden, like, what the F are you guys doing? I did all this crap. And their excuse was, we thought you could be a spy. And I go, a spy for who? I go, I've turned over all my documents related to Eco Alliance, Dr. Anthony Fauci, all these other things I've been involved with. I've been sworn in. I've testified about this stuff. I'm the leading witness on all the federal court cases against Dr. Fauci and the government and all the bad actors in this. I'm the person that has done the most and put themselves out there on the record. Sworn affidavits, all this stuff, pointed people to the connections between the intelligence community and the origin of SARS-CoV-2, all this stuff. And you think I'm the spy? I mean, it just is nuts. And so then 3 or 4 days goes by, and they're like, well, we want to come back up to your house again. We're sorry. We're gonna work with you for free. Okay.
Oh, they pulled that on me too.
Yeah. Well, then they came back, and then they came back the next time, and they're like, okay, we'd like you to speak at MyGop, all this stuff. And the night before they're supposed to speak at MyGop, someone dumps acid again in my wood boiler, and I don't think it was the government. Or it could be the government working with these people.
They did what?
They dumped acid in my wood boiler the night that I'm supposed to go speak at MyGop. And I don't know whether, it's a copycat, because I've been harassed by the feds, by the Patriots, by the DeVos people. I mean, I've pissed off a lot of people, but all for the right reasons. And so this happens again. And so I work on this wood boiler all night. I get the acid out of it. And I haul butt over to Mackinac Island from my house, which is like, 3-4 hour drive, get there and get dressed and then go on stage shortly after I get myself together and get on stage. So anyways, through that process though, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to represent you. They introduced me to Carrie Lake. Everything seems fine and normal, but then I start digging on Robert Owens. And then I find the same thing that you guys have. He's a recently convicted felon. He was shooting firearms at my house, mind you. I had no idea about any of this stuff. He comes armed to the teeth, shooting firearms. He wasn't drinking, at least, but I'm guessing this stuff's a violation of his probation.
All of it.
And here's the thing. I used to work with the courts, and I worked in the government for a number of years. There's no way that DeWine and the feds did not know that Owens was traveling. He's a high-profile guy under the thumb of the government, that he was traveling up here to do these things. So what that suggests is that the government is trying to set us up with these people.
Sure is. You are 100% right.
Yeah.
Guys,
and then
I got a boogie. I'm sorry. I'm already late for my 10:30, but Andrew, have a great conversation. Donna, I'll speak to you soon. Have a great podcast. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Love you a lot.
Thank you
so much. Make sure that you let everybody know that Warren and I are going to be on at 8 o'clock to bring this report forward. And we're going to continue to talk to everyone, whether anybody approves of it or not. I don't care who it is. We're going to keep going. So go ahead. Excuse me. And please.
Yeah.
Continue.
And so I'm new to Michigan politics. I mean, so I lived in Michigan. I first moved here in 2016. I was a professor at Michigan State University until 2019. And then I moved up to California for work, took a better job. And then I found out about the pandemic that same year and moved back to the UP here. So I wasn't really involved in politics back then. And then I decided to get more involved with all the craziness going on. And I had no idea that this state had so much corruption in it on both sides, both the left and the right. The toxic nature of Republican politics here and how it's being pulled into actually Wisconsin here in the UP. Ron Johnson has a lot of influence into it. The DeVos family, I mean, up to all sorts of crazy stuff I'm finding out, and even polls into other states like Ohio and Minnesota. So the question is, why are there so many outside influences, leaning on what's happening at state level politics in Michigan? It's very strange. And then if you also look at what's happening with Christina and the nature of the people that she's being surrounded with, either intentionally and unaware or aware and accepting of it, because those are really the only possibilities, it's not good. And the main job of her position from my experience, I used to be very politically active when I was younger, is to raise money for the party and to heal bridges and to actually grow the size of the party so that we can be more effective in getting good candidates elected. That's her job as I see it. And it seems that she's failing. And the idea that she would come ask me for money, I guess she'd hit you up for money.
Oh, everybody hits me up for money.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to ask people for money. I mean, that's part of it, but you should at least be a little bit aware of your audience. And these people that she's being surrounded with, if they're all criminals, they're being put there. They're being put there by somebody. And I'll give you one guess. It's probably the FBI. The FBI is probably doing it in partnership with state police and the state police from different, whether they're troopers, state police, whatever you want to call them, but from different states. What they have aligned in here, they're uniparty people or they're Democrats. They're uniparty Republicans or they're Democrats. And that's what these people all have in common. And what they're trying to do is maintain the status quo by disrupting and cracking the base of Trump support.
Yes, they are. And I want to tell you, I've got somebody that I know that prepared an arrest warrant for Gretchen Whitmer, went to the state police, and he's been threatened by multiple people. He went to them with this arrest warrant for her, and they said everything is perfect, and and this will stand in court. But if you file this, we will shoot you. And there was a witness.
Who said that? I mean, I'd hopefully get that on recording. I'd laugh at somebody that said that.
There's a witness there that said that. And I'm like, give me the arrest warrant. I said, I don't care if they shoot me. It's like, we're going to go forward with absolute no fear on these people that are in our government. The government itself is subversive. How can a state police officer tell somebody, if you file that report, we will shoot you because we're here to protect the governor? No, you guys out there are there to protect the American people, we the people. And anyone that would say that has committed treason and deserves to go to Gitmo and be handed over to a military tribunal. And we can send them down there and they can make the appointment legally with God, because I'm done with these people. And every one of them that commits this, they have to be removed. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think there's other ways to handle it. The mission. This is the thing. So I'm a libertarian conservative, and this is what I try to explain to people. If they're going to come take your guns, who are going to be the people that come take your guns? It's going to be law enforcement, and these people that all have the mentality of law enforcement. And I served in the military for a number of years when I was younger as an infantryman. There's a nuanced difference between military people and law enforcement. Law enforcement people just blindly, follow orders. And in the military, it's different. You have to accomplish the mission. So sometimes it's okay or acceptable to bend the rules a little bit as long as you accomplish the mission. But that's not the case with law enforcement officers. So, we're put in a hard place because a lot of law enforcement officers are conservatives, but they're following orders. And so I'm working with Matt DePerno right now on some cases against our favorite trio related to the whistleblower retaliation against me. Because in my case, when the government came after me, it was the CIA, the FBI, DOD working with the Michigan State Police and the Marquette County Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Greg Zeipert. I can prove all this. I have all the hard evidence of it, all the reports I filed. So, a lot of these people are just scumbags, and they'll do anything for a paycheck. The sad thing is up here in the UP is that a lot of these law enforcement guys, they're probably only told part of the truth, right? And when you get targeted by law enforcement, it's only because they only know a small part of the bigger story, and they believe whatever the feds are telling them or whatever their higher ups are telling them. But eventually, this stuff gets out, and then they're going to be held accountable. And, I feel sorry for the guys at the bottom because they need a job and there's not many other options. But I mean, we need to start playing law for it back with these people. And it's funny that you're going to have Tom Renz on here, because Tom Renz, this is what I like to point out. He sits there and talks about all these different cases that he's filing. He's not filing a lot of cases. Okay. He's spending all the time on social media, making a big stink. And I've asked him pointedly. So, and this is, think about how weird this question is. I asked this of Tom Renz and Mike Flynn both. Have either you or your associates been involved with intelligence collection operations at or near my property? Both of them refused to answer the question.
Okay.
Well, think about that. Why would Tom Renz or Mike Flynn be engaged in any intelligence collection operations near my property?
I have no idea.
Well, and that's very strange.
So here I'm screenshotting the chat here so that I can You just keep talking. I'm listening to you. I'm giving you a chance to talk right now.
Sure. Well, I mean, I don't know where else you want to take this. I took a look at Warren's report, at least the first 20 pages of it last night. Seems like Christina has a, interesting background. She's maybe embellished her resume a tad. And to what extent that's actually affected her role in Michigan politics, I don't know.
Well, I tell you, I looked in the background too, and I was a little bit concerned. And I worked with somebody that came to me as an investigator through Mark Fincham, and we started chasing people down a little bit to see, because I want to know who I'm talking to. It's like I'll give anybody a chance, but we need to know who we're talking. Sometimes it takes a little while for people's true colors to come out. And I know that's uncomfortable, that process for everyone. It's an uncomfortable process to go through. And I got to tell you, I heard something this weekend, and I'm going to bring it up because I love President Trump. I absolutely love him. Okay. And I will stand with him. And I love General Flynn. These guys are smart. They're not in here to win a popularity contest. They're in it to take back this nation. And not everybody is who they appear to always be. They may be, as you say, bending the rules just a bit to achieve the goal of putting this country back into our hands. Okay. And so sometimes we see things and we ask questions, go, I don't understand what's going on. All right. So I was at Mar-a-Lago this past weekend, and then I was at the Young Republicans Gala in New York City.
I wish I would have had the money. I would have attended.
It was absolutely wonderful. First time I've ever been there. I, just like Christina Caramo, I support anyone that's fighting for this nation. And I may not agree with everything he said, but there was something said at Mar-a-Lago that made me pause. And I didn't understand what was going on. But remember, we're in fifth generation warfare. We cannot look at things. General Flynn has been right out with this, with everybody. He's telling everyone, don't take anything at face value. Be smart. Think. Don't believe what people are saying. Even good people are playing games in order to move the ball to the end zone, to get people to think and to they're seeing it from, just like President Trump, from a 40,000 foot, viewpoint. They're seeing things differently. We have a short bit of, look at what happened today. As soon as Chuck got off, my feed started getting interrupted. Okay. If anybody out there thinks that we're getting the truth or anything, they're shadow banning and they are screwing with anybody telling the truth. But the problem with me is I'm too freaking stubborn to stop. We're going to end this thing in this generation. They're child trafficking, they're money laundering, all of this crap. This ends. And I'm not quitting. And I don't care if we have to pop up in a million different incarnations. We're gonna handle business here as adults, not children, right?
Well, I think so. So I'm just curious, what were the couple things?
I'm sitting there in Mar-a-Lago. Now you got to understand, I've been all over the place. I was in DC a couple of weeks ago, and I went there with the opinion of, great, I'm gonna go to this crap hole city that's a disgrace to this nation. And I'm going to leave here absolutely more infuriated than I already am at what they've done to this nation. All you hear is, all you hear is crime, unsafe, trash. They've trashed this nation. And I'm going to tell you, when I got there, and I've got pictures to prove it, I was all over the place. And it was me down in Brandenburg. As an American who went there, it can tell you what I saw. I'm not listening to the news. I am reporting what I see. That's it. It is probably one of the most beautiful cities I have been in. There was no graffiti on the columns. There was nothing, and it was incredibly safe. And this is what I saw, and I was just jaw-dropping surprised. So they're lying to us. So I go to Mar-a-Lago this past weekend, and President Trump goes into what a disgrace Washington, D.C. is. He said it. I've got it taped. I'm going to put it out there. There's graffiti on the columns. There's trash everywhere. It's a disgrace. And I'm sitting there going, where is this coming from? I'm like, there's something wrong. And there's something wrong there. It's not true. It's not true. I was there. I've got videos of him saying this. I have pictures of being there myself. I is a witness, a testimony. The gal that I travel with, and I was there with Erlina Velting, Danny Bartolotta's dad, and he and I are about the same age, and we were expecting this to be an absolute disaster. We walked in there. Erlina and Danny took scooters out, and they never got back home until 2:00 in the morning. That was that safe.
Yeah.
It was that safe out there, and it's a
DC too. I mean, I don't know what time you spent there, but there are bad neighborhoods within Washington D.C. and good neighborhoods. I mean, anything around the Capitol.
Like everywhere, but there's no graffiti on 4-foot columns, which was what was said. There's no graffiti there. There's no threat there. It's like every other big city, but the area of DC was beautiful, and it was loaded with patriots that were there to celebrate America. It was a wonderful experience. We have a great nation with a great history to fight for, and that is not true. It's not true. There's no graffiti there. It is beautiful, and they're working to preserve our history. And so that one, take it right off the table. That is fifth generation warfare right there. It's not true. And we have both sides. So we got to ask, why are they doing this? I don't know. But I do believe when we watch what President Trump did for this nation, he put everything on the line. He didn't have to do this. And we had the best economy. We had no war. We can look as a testimony to see what we saw. He is the rightful president of the United States. And the Republican Party in the state of Michigan stands for nothing. And now they got everybody squabbling like a bunch of children over nothing. And we're still not getting any work done. Abolish all parties. They're evil.
Interesting. You want to abolish all the parties? Well, I don't know. I don't know if the
now your microphone is ditching.
Oh, sorry. Is that better?
It's kind of staticky, but keep going. They're screwing with us. Keep going.
Well, to whatever extent, the idea of having no parties, the problem is that parties create strength to get people elected. So you can say that we don't want parties, but parties are part of the process. And there's going to be no getting rid of parties the way that our campaign finance laws are created.
The whole thing has to come down.
Well, what does that look like?
System, and you got to read it. The Declaration of Independence gives us the right to do it when things are so corrupt that we have to. There's sometimes in a company you got to level it in order to bring it back to the original intention. We need to get rid of about 90% of what's in our government right now by nullification.
Well, there's ways to actually make the government smaller, but you're going to have to do that through the powers of Congress and with the executive branch, and you have to work in concert. If the president can come in and do it for their term and actually downsize the government quite a bit, the problem with that, though, is when we rule by executive order of the president, things are not very effective long term. And the actual dramatic shifts of presidents enacting executive orders every time one comes into power is actually, I think, the root cause of a lot of the problems that we have. And we'd be better off if Congress actually took more power back from the executive branch. I think that would solve a lot of our problems.
Yep. So here I'm gonna continue to screenshot. Just keep talking on this, because what we can go into what you found with Anthony Fauci, because that leads us into another deep dark hole with the DeVosses. I've got a big beef with the DeVosses right now, and all you got to do is go down. Judah Ayers started me really down this path in his research and what we've seen. So I went and I checked it out myself. That Ford Museum down there is a Henry Kissinger museum. All you got to do is go down there and look and see that he was pulling the strings on the Fords, and the DeVosses were right there in lockstep. They have four. The DeVosses have 4 Johnson & Johnson facilities where they were, nature boy and girl out there. We're going to do things for the right reason. They were producing the Johnson & Johnson vaccination in Michigan in concert with the Van Andel Institute. And let's talk about, what is it? Dr. Francis Collins. I'm sure you know about Francis Collins if you know about what's going on there, because he is the puppet for Fauci.
Well, you're covering a lot of ground here, but I mean, so the DeVos family, so when I ran the investigation, the group that was tampering with my vehicles when I was being harassed by law enforcement, the Whitmer administration, Marquette County Sheriff's Department, was the DeVos family dealerships through Fox, Nagano.
Can I ask you to leave and come back on, because your audio's back and that might correct it. And
Sure.
so we're just gonna punt a minute, because I don't leave and don't leave permanently. So we're gonna let him come back on and see if we can get around this little engineered glitch, because they don't want this to be out there. And guess what? They don't want this to be out there. And let's see, somebody said in the thing that they're calling me a rhino in deep state. You know what? I hardly think so. I'm the one that everybody hates right now. So it's everybody's hating on Donna Brandenburg. Go ahead and hate away. I could give a rat's rear end. We're going to keep going until we get to the bottom of this. And all I can say is, anybody out there that wants to get to the bottom and wants to stand and take this nation back with us, you just keep going. Oh yeah. So now Rumble died, because now we've got Rumble dying on me. So now Rumble just died on me. If anybody out there thinks that any of this is a pure thing, you're full of it. You're not getting the truth on any level. We are not getting the truth. It's going to take Americans standing together and saying, "Hey, this is what I found." Court systems aren't lawful. We got all Soros funded prosecutors. And so it's going to come up to us to stand together as Americans. So I'm sorry, please continue on.
Oh, well, what I was saying is that, so my come to knowing that the DeVosses were up to sort of bad things was simple. So somebody was tampering with my vehicles, and it was obviously being done by mechanics or people who knew what they were doing. And I come to find out that it's the Fox Nagani dealership here in the UP that's doing it, and they're owned by the DeVos family. So if you actually
that again, go back to the beginning of that before you got to the Fox. What are they doing?
Sure. So this hasn't been for a while, but actually, this began in the fall of 2021 and went on for about a year and a half. And somebody had been tampering with my vehicles. They had been hacked. The struts had been cut, all sorts of different weird things. Brake lines had been tampered with, brakes. And it was obvious to me that a professional was doing this, some kind of dealership. Well, I come to find out it's actually the Fox Nagani dealership here in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, just down the street from me, about 20 minutes, that was doing it. So what was happening was that they were actually stealing my car when I wasn't here, when it was parked, and then they'd bring it over to the dealership to tamper with it. And that was done in concert with the Marquette County Sheriff's Department, the Michigan State. I have the proof of this too, with the Michigan State Police. The Nagani police were in on it. And they were doing this as the puppet masters of the FBI and DOD. So I have all the evidence of this. I have like the pictures, the photos of them tampering with my car, and they ripped me off in the process. So I filed FTC complaints against the DeVos family and Fox Nagani to the tune of $11,000, because that's what they ripped me off for. They actually claimed that they did all this different repair work, but what they were doing is they were correcting the tampering that they had done to my vehicle and then charging me for it, if you can believe that. So it's fraud. I mean, and that's think about you're this wealthy and you target a whistleblower. And the funny thing is, I couldn't really understand why the DeVos family would come after me specifically, because or be in line with this. And maybe it's just because it's the government contract money with the Michigan State Police and the state of Michigan with this Fox Nagani dealership. Maybe, I tried to come up with other hypotheses why they would do this. And maybe it's because maybe they thought my bringing this COVID information forward was going to benefit Trump in some way. Well, it does benefit Trump, but the reason why it benefits Trump is it's because it's the truth. I had no political stake as a scientist bringing that origin story forward. So, yeah, here we are. It's all falling action at this point. It's going to be an interesting year to see what happens with everyone knowing that this virus came out of a laboratory in China, and the U.S. government transferred the technology to this laboratory to spy on them.
Well, it's incredible. And hang on a minute. I'm telling people please tell anybody that's on Brandenburg News Network right now, please tell everybody that the Rumble channels are coming and going. So somebody's just like they hacked the feed here. Have them come to BrandenburgNewsNetwork.com and go to the live area, because it looks like it's updating every couple of minutes, but that's okay, because guess what? We've got the original feed. It's going to be plastered everywhere on what's out there. So just here we go.
I don't know, where are you located, out of curiosity?
South of Grand Rapids, if anybody wants to know, because I put my name on everything and I put it right out there. And if somebody wants to call me, it's 616-430-4410 in your face. I'm right out, not you, but everybody out there that's hacking this, because it's like you want to fight, you got one. And it's like, that's fine and dandy, because this This is absolutely okay. So I got people in the chat that are actually putting their names on this. And I want to say I respect you for doing that, not sniping from the outside, because we have to stand up together as Americans and put an end to this. It's not going to happen if we're sniping from the outside. We've got to stand up. We've got to do what you've done and file actual complaints and bring the proof forward to what they're doing, because this is a war against us. It's so evil. I can't believe that they cut your brake struts. So I just had my car worked on over at Fox Ford in Grand Rapids. If something happens to me with any brakes or anything like that, because they replaced all my brakes on my car. If anything happens to me over there, that's the first place to look.
There's the easier solution to everyone who's listening to this. Do not do business with Fox Motors. Okay, anything that with enable Fox on it, don't do there. Don't buy a car there. Don't have your repair work on their car. I mean, that's the simplest way that we can strike back at people who are ultra wealthy that are targeting people for bringing the truth forward or just for their political beliefs. A car dealership should not be working with the government to tamper with anybody's car, even if they're a leftist. Okay, the leftist should not be targeted by your car dealership, and neither should a person on the right. So, do you know what we do? We boycott those people. Don't spend your money with the DeVos family. Don't spend your money with Amway. Don't spend your money with Fox. Okay, don't have your car repaired there, and tell other people not to go there. We heard them. We hit their pocketbook. That's what we do.
Yeah. Well, and you can look at, so I've got people moving over here from the so Larry Logger Larry said, Donna, we're involved in a war between the globalist billionaires. Yeah, it's exactly it. They really saw my channels over there are dropping off, but I got people joining over at Brandenburg News Network, which is the only one that does not censor. And we can say whatever we want here. You can even say the F-bomb here, and I'm not going to censor this. But you know what I mean? It's like sticks and stones, mate. You can say whatever you want. I mean, I've been called worse things by better people. So anyhow, go ahead. Well, oh, this is funny. I'm getting like information back from my tech department on what's really going on out there. I actually find this to be a great fun game. I think it's hilarious.
What did they say? I'm curious.
Well, it's like they're saying that all of Rumble is down now. Now we've miraculously got microbial pneumonia coming after another election year.
Yeah, well, I can talk to you about everyone about the microbial pneumonia stuff. So this is another scare tactic from the government. And so I'm an emerging infectious disease epidemiologist. It's my area of specialty, and I'm also
that's what you do. Is your so give exactly what your specialties are, because this is great. I didn't know you before, like I don't know, half hour ago, and I really appreciate you coming on. This is awesome.
Yeah, so I'm an emerging infectious disease epidemiologist. I trained at one of the best schools in the nation. That's the University of Minnesota. It's a top 4 program in this field. Years ago, I graduated back in 2013 or 14. I did a postdoc at MIT in complex systems analysis, which is modeling and simulation, high performance computing. And I used to build artificial intelligence before anybody knew what it was for the government for disease detection. And that's what I was doing at EcoHealth Alliance with Dr. Peter Daszak, and not with Dr. Fauci, but he was, on the periphery of some of our research projects. But this pneumonia scare that's going around. So this is the reality behind it. So the mRNA vaccine actually lowers something called your neutrophil count. Your neutrophil count in your blood. Your neutrophils are the things that attack foreign bacteria. So when I started seeing these reports coming out about this pneumonia, and pneumonia is a bacterial illness typically. And so my first thought was, okay, this is associated with people who've been vaccinated. And this is based on a Scottish public health report that came out back in 2021, which indicated, and this was buried in the very last, so the study in Scotland was a census, meaning they measured everyone in the population. And in the study, it was probably like, the report was like 150 pages, and they were trying to determine how effective the vaccine was. Well, in the annex and in the end of the report, they actually put in things like adverse events to the vaccine, and they had all the other statistics related to the weird findings. And on the very last table, there's an asterisk in small print that said that people who received vaccines, the more vaccines that they received, the lower their neutrophil counts are. And that means that you have a weakened immune response. So what we're observing right now with this pneumonia, especially in the kids, is that if they've been vaccinated with the SARS-CoV-2 vaccine, the mRNA, there's a higher probability that they're going to contract things like pneumonia. And the more vaccines that they receive, the higher the probability, the worse the risk is, higher the risk is that they're actually going to have this disease. So that's what we're seeing going on here. It's not some product of this new disease floating around the population. It's an existing disease that's been endemic for a long time at low levels. But the problem is because so many people have their immune system weakened in kids from the mRNA shots, that's why we're seeing this problem.
Wow. That's the turbo cancers that are coming out too, because I know that it's like the cancers, your immune system is what really kills cancer. They can give you chemo all they want, but they can only cure to their own admission, 2% of all cancers. And they can only take 60% of cancer out because you got floating stem cells floating around your body. If you have chemotherapy, the statistic I think is 60%. And I always ask myself, what kills the rest of it that takes it out? It's your immune system. You have to have a strong immune system. So if they're sabotaging people's immune systems, of course they're going to get sick. Of course we're going to see emerging turbo cancers. Of course we're going to see all this nonsense.
Yeah, the turbo cancers are really unique, and there's a couple different causes that can be driving that. One is this concept they've now coined the term called frame shifting, but what that means is in your cells, if you remember back to high school or maybe middle school biology, there's something called the endoplasmic reticulum, and what that does is that produces protein synthesis like DNA, RNA, and what they're doing is they're spitting out nonsense, or actually not nonsense, but random protein strands. And when it does that, and it doesn't code for something or build something specifically which your body recognizes within that tissue, that's what causes the cancer. And then there's this other thing at least in the Pfizer vaccines, called an SV40 promoter. And that SV40 promoter actually encourages the growth of these things. So that's what's likely leading to quote unquote the turbo cancers. There's a whole variety of these things. And really, it's, I hate to say it, if anyone is dumb enough to keep getting these boosters and these jabs, it's a problem that solved itself. I mean, these things will kill you if you keep getting jabbed with them over time, or it increases your risk that something bad will happen to you. I'm totally against anyone getting vaccinated with any of these mRNA products until they get improved and they go through proper clinical trials and testing and safety trials, which they haven't had. So, I remain optimistic that they might fix these things for the future and the pharmaceutical industry might get it together. But the way it sits right now, it's just there's more bad news coming out internationally now. Just in Italy this morning, it was announced that a whistleblower leaked their vaccine safety data. And even the Italians knew that this mRNA vaccine was dangerous. And they didn't share that information with their population. So, every day that goes by, the story gets worse and more damning. And I push this story so hard personally on social media. And if you guys want to follow me, and you're new to me, so I'll plug my Twitter. My Twitter handle is AG Huff. I don't know if I can put it in the group comments.
Yeah, you can probably. So I'll put it on BNN's comments.
Oh yeah, I don't do Google. They're evil. AG Huff, AGHUFF. That's who I am on Twitter. And I've been pushing this stuff really hard. And the nice thing is, after Thanksgiving, I think the dam sort of broke loose on this lab leak stuff. And all these people that were in the government that were trying to deny that the SARS-CoV-2 came out of a laboratory in a group project between the United States government and China, we're past that point now, because all these people, Dr. Anthony Fauci, Dr. Daszak, another guy by the name of Dr. Kristen Anderson, they're all trying to now defend this thing called the diffuse proposal, which was a proposal that they submitted to the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency in 2019, which actually laid out the exact recipe of how to make SARS-CoV-2. They had the last critical steps in it. And the work on this actually began all the way back in 2014 or 2015, and it took them that long to get up to this point. Why this is so significant, though, and what I brought to the table is that when we worked at EcoHealth Alliance, and this is all scientists internationally and in the U.S., the best scientists, we work ahead of the receipt of funding. So we do not need the government's money to do our research. We're working 2 to 3 years ahead of our funding. So when we submit a grant or a contract application, typically we already have the first year's worth of work done in that proposal. So now when you think about this diffuse proposal, the laboratory leak, what this all means is that they were probably already working ahead and had this work complete before they even asked for the money, and that's how it works. The DARPA and Department of Defense actually shoot down the proposal. They say, this is too high risk, this is too dangerous, you guys are crazy, basically in their rebuttal and their response to this project. But guess what? They're already doing it. And that's how this all happened.
Intentional. It's for not only is it for knowledge, it's intentional.
Well, it's intentional with a lot of bad decision making around it.
Could I ask you to leave and come back on again? I'm so sorry, but they're really wanting this not to come out. And then, or would you come on Thursday?
I can probably come on Thursday. I got to get back to work. Actually, I wasn't expecting this.
Well, this was so gracious of you to come on today at the last minute, and I really appreciate it. So let's do this. Can you give me 2 hours on Thursday so that we can let you talk as much as you want? So Thursday, 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 to 11. Let's do it Thursday, and then
I can probably do an hour on Thursday. I can probably do like 9 to 10.
9 to 10.
Yep.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do 9 to 10. And then if you can come back on again, I want to hear what you have to say. Okay. I really do. This is important. People need to hear it. And I don't care how many times they try to take this down. We're going to keep putting it out there. And to their horror, I have someone who we will be broadcasting some J6 video that they don't know is out there. And we're going to continue to bring this out as us because they are lying their tails off. So let's say a prayer a minute and go into our day. And then we're going to plan on that. Please, everybody, let everyone know that Dr. Andrew Huff is going to be on Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning. We're going to continue to talk about this stuff. And I might even just ask Judah Ayers to come on because he can talk at length about what the DeVosses have been involved in, Amway, and in this nation, because it's really, it has to be talked about, and the involvement and how these families have obfuscated the truth that's out there. We need to know this. Everyone should be really upset about the fact that his vehicle was sabotaged. This is brake lines cut and such. This is serious. This has gotten so serious. And we've got to talk about it. So, dear Heavenly Father, thank you so very, very much for Dr. Andrew, for Warren Carpenter, for Chuck Ritchard, for coming on today, that we can bring to light all of these issues. Because when we throw everything into the light, into your light, that's when we find the truth, whether we want to hear it or not, whether we want to see the fighting or not. Guess we're in a war. We know we're in a war. There's nobody here that should be in denial about this. And that the only way to win this is to throw this out in the light and ask for your blessing on every single thing that we do. We ask that you bless this nation, that you bring us together, the good people that are here, and also to absolutely speak truth in all things that we do, that we have patience going forward, and that we honor each other in the efforts that we have, bringing this nation back to the proper jurisdiction, which is under you. We're fighting for one nation, under God, under you, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please protect the children in all situations. Protect all children from CPS. It is so evil. And the other organizations that are set up against our families, please protect our families. We love you. You've been a great friend to us, and we want to be a great friend to you. In the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
So see you Thursday.
See ya.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and it's just me, guys. And so, wow, that was kind of crazy. All of the problems we had, audio and otherwise, but we're still here. We're still up kicking. And I keep getting words that, that everything is off on Rumble, then it's on Rumble, then it's off. Some people were not having any problems on Rumble. Some people were, and some people had the chat out. I want to thank everyone for bearing with us this morning. I think this is a good way to have a discussion. Thank you so much for bearing with us. It feels like we're alone and that our families are being attacked. The foundations of America that we believe in, the lawful process, we don't have that. You can't get a fair trial here because the judges are funded, the prosecutors are funded by people like George Soros. We are in the fight of our lives right now. The next election, if we get there, General Flynn has said it over and over again. I don't think we're going to have another election. And you want to know what? I don't think we are either. But we'll see what happens. And at the end of it all, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have. What is your Rumble channel name? We've got Brandenburg News Network on Rumble, as well as Brandenburg for Governor, because Great question. I am not conceding the 2022 election, and we are not going to be able to go forward until we right the intentional fraud that was covered up. We have proof of that. We have proof that they were registering fraudulently. It's out there. And we know that this is true. We've got 3 people in the Attorney General's office who are being charged with 27 felony counts of crimes that were committed against me and it's not about me. It's about all of us. You know what? I didn't need to do this. I didn't need to be out here taking any heat for anyone. And I'm going to ask everybody out there, don't look at me and expect me to fix this nation. I'm out here fighting for this nation and fighting for not just for my family and every single one of you out there. And we're going to have to. Oh, it says on the Rumble channel, it says there are no videos. Some people are having problems on Rumble. Not everyone. I'm getting feedback back that some people can see it. Some people will just go to BrandenburgNewsNetwork.com and you're going to find it without interruption to the best of our ability. And if it does, we've got the original video. So we're just going to post it everywhere. So you'll be able to see the replays. You don't have to worry about this. I'm in this for justice. And when we get this justice, I'm hoping that we're replaced by someone out there that has the guts to stand forward once we put that first plow in the field and put the first furrow and make it easier the next time, because we're going to take this nation back as one nation, as a lawful nation who is a nation of laws and of rules that where we protect each other's rights. I don't agree with a lot of choices people make in the world. There's a lot I wouldn't do. But you know what? The great thing is I'll fight for your rights to have a differing opinion. That's fine. I don't have to agree with you. You are an important individual, which God put in you everything he made to make you absolutely beautiful, wonderful, exactly. And I'm not going to argue with God. If you have a different opinion, he's got something else going on, and I don't need to know the outcome. I just need to trust God. I don't need to know why President Trump said that there's graffiti on the columns in Washington, D.C. I was there. That is not true. There is no graffiti in the columns. They are pristine, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful city. I never felt in danger. But I'll tell you what, I went to New York City this weekend, and I've got a lot of opinions on that. That city is a disaster. It is absolutely a disaster. Most of the people that work in there, it's a city of billionaires. Most of the people that work there, they don't live there. They live across I talked to a bunch of them. They live across the river in like New Jersey and such, and they come into the city and work because they can't afford to live it. And we talk to people who says nobody owns property in New York City. Nobody does. Think about that. They've already turned that into a 15-minute city, and that people have to commute to get a job owned by the billionaires. Nobody owns anything there. It's already taken over. And you know what? Where we were, it was absolutely filthy. It was filthy. The prostitutes were around in the district. We had to go past protesters that were protesting President Trump. There were plenty of police there, but there were protesters there that were protesting our ability and yelling and screaming at people that were there. And it was like, fine, we're still going to go in and we're going to do this in an elegant manner in order to, and I would just ask them, come and join us. This is about, they have abandoned. Don't say that we abandon you. The entire system has abandoned you and everyone. They're abandoned. The people in New York City, I could see it. They've been abandoned. It's the same thing that's happening all over the place. They're trying to turn things into slums. And so that people are fighting with each other like rats just to survive and protect the things they love, their family and this nation. This shouldn't be. They've done it through tax structures. They've done it through many, many other ways. So I want to say it is. Don Beatty came on and texted me and said, I think you broke Rumble. I think I did break Rumble, but that's okay. We're on Brandenburg News Network, and we're going to continue to bring out the truth. And we're going to post this thing all over the place. They can try to take it down. They can try to kill the feed after somebody leaves. I don't care. We're going to still stand, and I'm going to still stand to protect the rights of each and every one of you out there. And just want to let you know, if you feel like you're alone, you're not. Don't listen to the news. Do not listen to the headlines. Go and research and find out for yourself, just like I did. I did it. I went to D.C. I went to New York City. I want to see with my own eyes what we're dealing with here. and try to bring the truth forward. And you know what? We're Americans. We're mutts. We've been kicked out of every good country on the planet. We've come here to stand together as one nation. We didn't come here to stand here as Africans and as our forefathers didn't. We came here to stand with each other as one nation, one group of people, to give each other the ability to say what's on their mind, to have discussions, and have everyone's voice be heard. When they sabotaged our elections, they violated the First Amendment. If even one vote was silenced, it's not acceptable. And if we can't question it, it's not acceptable. That is an attack on our rights. And when they attack one of us, they attack all of us. And so I'm not in this for anything else except for justice. And the rightful president of the United States, I don't know why I said it. I don't really care. I don't really care why he said it. It's like, I have found that to not be true in my own experiences. But he has the right to say whatever he wants, and I have the right to go ahead and go in there and investigate it for myself to find out. I have the right to listen to what Warren Carpenter has to say, find out if it's true. I have the right to listen to what Chuck Ritchard says and find out if it's true. If it's true, it's true. So be it. Let the chips fall where they may. We have to take the nation back. And you know what? We're going to do this, and we're going to do this together. We're going to find out who, yes, as Whitler is trying hard to make Oakland County like New York City, a 15-minute city. If you don't think New York City is past its glory days, it's way past its glory days. It is so far past that. It was probably, I thought Venice, Italy, when I was there, it was charming, but it was absolutely filthy. It's absolutely a filthy city to be in there, but it's charming and I enjoyed it. But New York City, it's absolutely filthy. I cannot believe how they have turned this and abandoned the people there. The people there, we met some wonderful people there. Absolutely wonderful people. New Yorkers we were having a great time. New Yorkers are wonderful. But you know what? Why aren't the people of New York owning New York? Why do they have to go in like some sort of slave class that has to commute through 2 hours a day? Because they don't want them fighting them. Because once they're pissed off at what they've done to their city that they love, you don't think that there's going to be a whole lot of New Yorkers who's about as hard-bitten as every horse person I've ever known that's going to come out and say, this is not to be. Whatever these people, these billionaires, which I am not, I've never gotten that report and it's not true, have set up, whatever the future holds for them, they deserve anything they get. There's no excuse for it. But we're going to choose to do it a lawful way. We're not going to, oh yes, so that's why she wants solar farms and windmills, etc. Their crap health care plan. These people that are sitting in the seats are at war with you and me. They want to silence us and shut us down. They want to turn us into living into these slave camps that they've got going on. It's happening right now. They're human trafficking individuals. We want to talk about retribution or restitution. Let's talk about restitution. I say we strip every one of these people that have been sitting in office from their ill-gotten gain, put it in a pile in the middle of the table, and give it out to all Americans. That's restitution. They have waged war against every single one of us. And that's not 200 years ago. That's right now. We take all of these people. It says showing that Rumble's down now too. So Rumble's completely down. So good. I hope we broke it. If that's the case, so be it. We're going to keep going. Every single one of us is under attack. They've used human trafficking and opening the border in order to subvert the nation with illegal immigrants. No, they're not. They're fighting age males. And if any of you think you're going to escape this without your family being affected, you're living in Disney World right now. It ain't happening. We're all at threat from this right now. And they used human shields. They used children to get in as a shield to come in here as an invading army. By China? No. By Mexico? No. By the people that are sitting in power within the United States of America. We've been infiltrated from within, and they just brought their army in to attack Americans, to turn us into the enemy, to disable us. So you better figure it out, and you better figure it out fast, that it's they own the political parties. Look at where the money flows. Look at the globalists that are funding all of this. Look at how this goes. Go to the Ford Museum and you tell me if that's a Ford museum or if it's a Kissinger museum. Let me just post a picture here. I'm going to nail this thing right to the wall so that you can see what's happening here. Let me go ahead and show you this because let's see, they said, okay, Rumble knows about it. I'm going to just keep going here. Screw all of them. See what happens. I don't really give a crap because you need to know exactly what's happening out there. I just haven't done my DeVos Kissinger expose yet, but it's coming. We're going to go ahead and do St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. I want everybody who wants to go against the Catholics to just say, shut the hell up. Find something better to fight with other than people that are trying to do the right thing. Go after go hardcore here. If you're going to go after it, let's just go hardcore after it and go after the real threat. The real threat's the globalists who have imported an invading army into this nation. They know what they're doing. They absolutely do. We're smarter than this. We're going to blow apart their fifth generation warfare here. And I'm going to show you a wall in the Ford Museum. And you tell me what you see, because I'm going to tell you exactly what I see here. This happened during the Cold War. There's more. I've got lots of pictures, but this is the first time I've really shown this. So let's go ahead and bring it up here so you can see what's going on. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I saw when I went in there. This is just one instance. And who owns the property that this is on? The DeVosses do. The DeVosses put this up. The DeVosses have one of the lanterns that have been given out that should tell you right there. The only ones that get this are the people that are standing with the globalists. Make no mistake. And I'll publish it all. I'll show you who's in this. So check this out on this. Here's Kissinger. Every time you see a picture of Kissinger, he's got his mouth open and he's pointing, giving instructions. It's all by symbolism. And look we've got Ford, his little lapdog, who got a Maltese cross. It's sitting right there in the museum. So we've got, here we go. We're how come it's okay to stand with Russia then and be talking to Russia? Kissinger, who is let's look at his background. He's not exactly who he said he is. The Jewish community has been infiltrated too. Don't be stupid. All of them have been infiltrated. The Christian church has been infiltrated. We have to think of. So here you go. We've got Ford taking instructions. He's out there as an emissary. He's not saying a thing. He's got his mouth shut, taking instructions by Kissinger, who was at fault for what happened in Cambodia, the 10 million exterminations there. And other things too. Just look into it. You'll see it for yourself. And there he is here. And we've got Ford taking instructions from Kissinger. Okay. He died just recently. And I'm going to say right now, every one of us can be probably grateful. But why is it that he's got a whole wall in that museum right next to the Oval Office simulation? There's more there. I've got all kinds of pictures from this that we can look at and look at who they've set up. And I'm going to tell you what, we can see the symbolism, not only there, but let's look in the Amway Plaza. Let's look into it. Why is there so much Egyptian symbolism around? Why is there transhuman figures around? Why is it that there's the globalists are sitting there together? I think we need to ask some questions. I don't have all the answers. All I can do is put out what I see. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're not going to stop. I don't care how much they try to sabotage this. I don't care what they do. They can do whatever they want. But you know what? I'm not standing alone. We've got millions of us out there who are just regular people who go to work every day and have watched everything we love being sabotaged by these people who don't give a crap about you or I or a family or God. They have waged war on us. If anybody went to Kissinger House and Ford, weren't that great either. Oh yeah, all of them. They were all sitting there together, subverting this nation. Look back, Kissinger was giving marching orders to Nixon. They were behind this. And what party was this, people? Was this the Democrats? No, your throat was slit from within the Republican Party. Politically. That's the truth. Look it up. Find out for yourself. That is my opinion. Donna Brandenburg. The Republican Party has been slitting our throats for years promising and not delivering and hiding. It's nothing new under the sun. We're going to have to come together as Americans and think for ourselves and not be sheeple, being told what to think, who to vote for, and going into their little process of selection, because they're slacking us. That's exactly what's happening. So anyhow, it's like somebody said, I can't wait to tell you what I learned about trafficking this weekend. I wish I could have been there. I had some choices to make. I decided to go down to Mar-a-Lago and stand with Moms for America, making our families strong. What Kimberly Fletcher has done with putting candidates in positions has been nothing short than miraculous. General Flynn was down there, and it was always nice to see him. And his wife, Lori, was there. That was great. And then I went to New York City, and I got to see some other great patriots who've been working to right things and stand up for President Trump, the rightful president of the United States, is right to that office. He is the rightful president of the United States, whether you agree or disagree with him. If anyone would have won that honestly, I would have backed him, whether I disagreed with him or not. It's not about liking somebody or the childish cult mentality of backing people without question. It's about standing for the process of being an American, the lawful process, the honest process, which was not accomplished. And in your face, I got to sit by an FBI guy when I was in New York City, and he was fist bumping me for every ornery thing that came out of my mouth. We'll see what happens. I'll see. Oh, guess what? Warren just called back in. Just a minute. Hey, Warren, how you doing? I'm still on, and I'm still out there I just put out Kissinger's wall of shame in the Ford thing. I'm like, that Kissinger wall of shame within the freaking Republican Party. Everybody should, in the wall of shame by hiding the information on Graham that's out there. Here, I'll flip you on a speakerphone here. On Graham that was producing the Johnson & Johnson shot in Grand Rapids, Michigan, fully knowing what they were doing to the American population. Yep. So there you go. So I'm about to get off here, but what?
What'd you think about Huff?
Oh, I love the guy. He's coming on Thursday at 9:00. So
yeah, he's
the
really
real
well
deal.
Sourced. Yeah.
Yep. And I give everybody a chance, and it's like, I'll let him talk. I may not even say something, but when the hammer gets dropped, it's going to get dropped decisively, because there's too much at stake here to soft paw this like a kitten. No, this is where we go in.
Yeah, no, rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get it all. Let's air it all out, and then people can decide.
Just so you know, Warren, if you come on here and you prove to me that there's a problem, I will rip you to shreds just as quick as I would anyone. But until that time, we're friends, and we were going to try to fight this together. And this is the truth. The truth has to come out. I don't care who it is. We have to be. Our allegiance is to each other, to America, not to the citizens of this nation.
Tribe. We're the greatest tribe in the history of the world, because we unite all the tribes.
We unite them all.
That's the promise of America. That is the promise.
That's it. And we stand for each other's rights. We stand for them. We don't snipe at each other. We shouldn't. We should go for truth. Truth is, Ford Museum is a Kissinger Museum. Go look at it. Tell me I'm wrong. And you know what? If they change it out, which they did, they kept attacking the channel today to all of them. I don't care. I've got it all, because I go and I don't listen to these idiots in the news. I go and I figure it out by myself. It's like, that's the way it is.
That was crazy what was going on with your channel, by the way. Like, totally nuts.
Yep. And so,
all the different socials, like on Facebook, it was talked about, on Twitter, it was talked about, on Telegram, it was talked about, like on Signal, people are talking about, what the hell's going on with the podcast? This is crazy, blah, blah, blah. So, everybody saw it. You know what I mean? It was real. It went down.
I'm going to give everybody the permission out there. You can use any words you want around Donna Brandenburg. You will not offend me. It's up to you. I may not agree with the words you're using.
Correct. Yeah.
But I don't care.
That's the freedom of again, the greatest tribe.
Well, you want to know the stupid thing about it is I sit there and I listen to these hypocrites talk about it's hypocrites. If Jesus was here, he'd call us all a bunch of hypocrites, because they've got cable on, they've got all this cable crap on, and they're watching murders, they're watching rapes. It's like there's a murder on about you turn on any network or anything other than Brandenburg.
It's all fear porn.
It's every 2 seconds you're looking at somebody that's getting murdered. You're seeing abuse. You're seeing this is a hit job on our psyches and to tell us that this is okay. And
Correct.
I don't necessarily believe.
Psyop.
But you want to know something? Anybody says, "Oh, they hurt my feelings" with a word. You got cable in your house, then you're a hypocrite because you are giving.
They lock you up in the gulag.
Yeah, you're watching these movies.
Wait till the gulags come.
You're watching these movies. Don't tell me that you disagree with this because I can tell you right now that almost everybody that's out there that's watching this is watching softcore porn on cable. They're watching it on satellite. They're listening to these words in their homes and their kids are hearing it. Don't tell me they're not hearing it.
There's a separation between the spirit and the flesh, and we've let that divide grow.
Yep.
We're not narrowing that gap with the way that we live today, and we're bearing the fruits of that in our society, in our civil society.
Well, I really appreciate. And I have to say that I thought you were a very, very classy guest. You sat there and listened. I was a little
unhinged, and I'm sorry for that.
Yeah,
he wouldn't let me talk in the beginning. It was crazy.
You know what? But it's okay. Even if we do that, even if somebody attacks that, if you watch me, a lot of times I'll just sit there and I'll listen. I don't even say a word. I will not even respond to somebody who is an idiot for most of the time because I'll get my licks in later. You just wait. I'm like taking my time to plan their demise right there. And that's the thing of it is that I'll listen, and as I'm listening, if you're watching me not talking, I'm planning their demise because that
you sound like me,
that's exactly what's happening. The demise will come, and I'm sitting there planning it, and I'm not backing down. So let's take a look at the Kissinger trap again, or the Kissinger Museum. I think it's great. It's not the Ford Museum; it's Kissinger Museum, and there was everywhere everywhere. Kissinger was there everywhere. He was everywhere on all the pictures.
He was the shadow president.
You bet he was.
Ford was a figurehead dummy.
Yeah, he sure was. It's just
people don't know that. People don't understand how that all took place. It's a really weird time, and with Nixon and assassination of Kennedy earlier and everything else. I mean, that was the coup d'état that happened with the military industrial and the intelligence complex back then. And now, 40 years later, we're all reaping what was sowed so far long ago, right?
We're in the same spot.
They've been able to grow unchecked, and we've been slumbered in our sleep and lulled to our simple existences that are just creatures of convenience. I want fast food. Everything comes to my fingertips. I can just comment on social media and that's doing something. No, you need agency and action.
Yes. And you got to get in the fight. But anyhow, I thought that, you sitting there and being interrupted at the beginning, it's not an okay thing. I mean, nobody was paying. Well, that was not. And I understand why you were angry because you were being basically silenced. You can't just go on and mow over someone. You have to give them time to talk and sit there respectfully, whether you agree or not. You don't go into a Jerry Springer mentality to attack and refuse to let them talk. They have to talk. Even if somebody.
I stayed silent so he could say everything he wanted to.
And it was a very classy thing. I hope that we can go forward and never go into attack because I don't appreciate attacks, even though you were angry, and I get it. People react the way they do, and it's a practice thing to hold composure under all circumstances. And so, but it's a normal human reaction to react when you're being attacked. And it's like, and that there was a clear onset of an attack there and it was disrespectful. And it's like, we can do this. We can do this honestly. We can do this without going into an attack mode and acting, and Jerry, we can go back and forth. We can bounce it back and forth. So somebody said Kissinger is Epstein. Question was Ford with a question. DeVos, then DeVos wouldn't be surprises with a question. We're asking questions. That's it.
There we go.
And we need to have answers.
Yep.
Yep. So that's where we're at, guys. So we did say our prayer here. And just so everybody knows, I'm going to be on with Lauren again tonight, whether anybody likes it or not. And we're going to talk about this report within the MIGOP because that when you have a powerful lobbying should be illegal. You cannot have lobbies. We should not have PACs that take money from anything other than individuals. Period. The system is so out of whack that you can't even justify one step in this thing at this point in time. PACs are evil. And so if they're accepting money from dark money funds, if it's a PAC that they're taking money from the individuals and they're deciding they want to get together and fight, they've got the right to do that. But I don't like the fact that any of these corporations where we are having where we are out there being funded through economic warfare. I mean, that's what they've done when they took all of our corporations and put it under Citizens United. They gave it the rights of a person. That our corporations are people. They've never enforced antitrust. They've never done anything the right way, and they continue. And this is every one of them in the seats needs to be removed and never allowed to hold office again. Never again. It's in the parties, the same thing. I don't like Matt DePerno as an option. I've seen too much failure there. I do not like, and I've got the right to my opinion. It's my opinion. I do not like anyone that was standing with Ron Weiser and Michonne Maddox. I do not like them. They have disqualified themselves for office due to their Warren started coughing. He'll be back on. Due to their abject failure. I do not like either side of this. We have to get back to having people who are just true people as Americans fighting this forward. Let me see if I get Warren back on again. I think he started coughing. See if it come back on.
You've reached Warren Carpenter.
Oh, lost him. So that's okay. We'll come back on at 8:00 tonight. This has been a long day for everyone. And just to let you know, heart and hands, God's in charge of this. He's just got some pretty beastly warriors on the ground right now. And this is who are actual adults who are willing to fight for this nation. So anyhow, if you're feeling alone, you're not. There's a lot of us that are really good people that are fighting, and we're playing fifth generation warfare out there. This is not child's play anymore. And we're going to continue to go forward. So with that said, God bless you. God bless all those whom you love, and God bless America. Help us spread the truth. And you can ask me any questions you want. And it's this is a place where your questions, your opinions, the things that are important to you are and will be honored. And even if I disagree with you, I will honor you with listening to you. And I think that this is a very, very important process. So have a great day and come back tonight at 8:00 and bring friends. There will be a different link for it. This link will be gone as soon as I leave the broadcast. And so we will be generating a new link. Please watch my Telegram channel, Telegram, Getter, and Truth Social, and make this thing go viral. Let's get this report out there because we need to see what's out there. And then we're going to question Warner, Norcross, and Judd. Jason Ikes is going to be on Wednesday, who has questions there. No one gets a pass. Everyone can be questioned. Have a great day. Make it so, and make the right decisions. You know what's right. God's given that to you. Do the right thing under all circumstances, and you're going to be one of the heroes that stands at the end. That God's going to say, "You did it. You did what I asked you to do. You stood for the good purposes as we bring about and fight for God's kingdom on earth as it is in heaven." It's our duty, our right, our obligation, and our job. Have a great day, and I'll see you tonight, 8:00, Brandenburg News Network. If Rumble still crashed, if we broke Rumble, come back here at BrandenburgNewsNetwork.com, and we'll be live at 8. See you later. Bye-bye.